Welcome, welcome to Let's Talk with Sheila. We're here today, and I'm very honored to have Ron. I am Ron Freeman from Ready to World, Houston. How you doing, Ron? How's it going?
Doing good. How you doing, Sheila?
I'm doing great today. I'm glad to have you here. So we're gonna get started, but I want to know what's the weather like? What's your day like? What does it look like over in Houston? How's
The weather from Houston this point on is pretty predictable.
okay?
Hot as a mug.
Nice, nice.
It don't seem to be. It won't change again probably to November. So
Okay. Well, then that's great. Long as you're having wonderful weather. The weather here, I'm up in the New York, New Jersey area. And so today we're having a nice day, but it does fluctuate and stuff. So I'm so glad to have you on today. So I would love to start today the interview with asking you about Ready to Love and how you actually came to be on the show. What happened? How were you introduced to the show, and how did you get on the show?
well, I think I was contacted by, I guess, the people that do casting and
Mhm.
things of that nature. I don't know 100% how they found me. It could have been on Instagram, or it could
Mhm.
have been word of mouth, maybe in the city or something like that. But
Mhm.
or somebody probably could have said, "Hey, this guy's single in the age group that you guys are looking
Uh-huh.
for." So
Right.
they
So
contact
go ahead. I'm sorry.
they contact me, and I've seen the show before. I was a big fan of the
Yeah.
season 2. I didn't really see. I saw a little bit of season 1
Mhm.
towards kind of end of it, and then I love season 2,
Mhm.
and so I was familiar with the show. And then from there, they asked, did you want to interview? And this was probably in the beginning. Out of my cast, I was probably the first person
Okay.
picked, because I was really
Mm.
supposed to be on the season before.
Okay. That's
And
the resort area, right? That
yeah,
was when they were in the resort. Okay.
yeah. So from the time of me getting picked and the time of me filming, actual filming was over a year.
Oh
Let me say.
wow. Okay. Wow. So how
Yeah,
were you prepping in a year? Did they keep in touch with you? To make sure you
barely. Like, you'd be
okay.
almost thinking like, is this thing really gonna happen, or is it not? Like, so you kind of forget about it at some
Mhm.
points. It gets kind of you living your life.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I didn't really make any changes prepping
Mhm.
for it until about
Okay.
2 months before
Okay.
filming.
Okay.
And then I kind of cut out. Let the people that I know who I might have been talking to or something like that.
Mhm.
I'm about to go
Yeah.
on a show. I'm going to take it very
Mhm.
serious.
Mhm.
We probably shouldn't. You know,
So going into Ready to Love, did you have like a game plan? Like, or did something you were expecting? Like what were you expecting when you went in?
I had no expectations, and I
Mhm.
wanted it that way. I
Okay.
wanted the
Okay.
full experience
Hmm.
of what was about to happen.
Hmm.
That's the main reason why I really went on there. Even my dad was like, what they can't
Wow.
really offer you anything. You well known in your city
Hmm.
already. You're not gonna do it for a check. You make pretty good money. So he said, only thing they can really offer you is a wife, because that's what you
Hmm.
need. My
Right.
dad had been trying to get me married for the last
I can
15 years.
understand
So,
that. No, I can understand that. And probably you're an eligible man too, so he probably says you need a wife. So I do
yeah, yeah, yeah.
understand that.
He's big. He's a big married. He's always been married, so he's
Yeah.
big in marriage. So yeah, he was like, oh, maybe they find you somebody. Maybe
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe get.
Right.
So I was taking it serious, as in, um, maybe so. If not, I wanted to have a authentic
Hmm.
experience. I didn't want to go in
Hmm.
there. That's why I didn't watch too many interviews
Hmm.
before. I had some friends like Jay, season 3 before me,
Hmm.
London for season 2. They hit me up and kind of let me know
Right.
a little bit of the BS that might happen.
Okay, okay, okay. So you were pre-warned a little bit.
A little bit, but you never know the
Uh-huh.
extent of it until you're in it. Like I said, I
Okay.
can get somebody the full game plan of this,
Uh-huh.
and it ain't gonna do them no good.
So can you tell me a little bit about your season, season 4? Can you just tell me how it went as far as from the beginning? Like you all were introduced at the mixer and
Yeah, we went to
Mhm.
we came out to the mixer.
Mhm.
And you gotta understand, like, so they bring people out maybe like 1 and 2 at a time.
Okay.
So if you last on that list, you in the car for about 3.5 hours while everybody else mingling and talking and getting ahead of you, really, because it is that first day it's a competition. That one's directly a competition because you don't got time to really get to know anybody. You know there's a cut coming. You don't want to be the first person eliminated.
Of course not. You're right.
That's like the worst. You know what I mean? Everybody knew that going in. Like, just don't let me be first. You know, if I go second or third, okay. I want to be that first person gone. So everybody's there. So by the time I got out, I was one of the last people out. Right. So, they give you a little glass of champagne. They shoot you out to the wolves. And no instructions, no nothing. And you see it, everybody else is there engaging conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to go, interrupt or sit on the sideline and be that guy. So it's kind of like a meat market,
Right. I was gonna say, it looked like a meat market. It definitely does look like a meat market. And I was just wondering how you all interact. Like, if somebody's up talking to someone else, do you tap them on the shoulder? Do they encourage that as far as, to say?
Yeah, I mean, there was no rules to it. I kind of, politely would introduce myself to both people and then kind of engage in the conversation. Okay. But really and truly, I was trying to find people that was alone for a second and start there and get those out the way. So if I saw you kind of walking down the steps or something, I would run over, kind of help you down the stairs and kind of, hey, can we get a conversation over here? If I found the person attractive. So
what about how long did you all film? Like you're filming, I mean, is it like an all day or
it was longer days, the mixer. So we got hit with a double elimination, 2 guys. And that was crazy. Like, I don't.
I know. I was gonna say, what was behind that?
Hope they never do that again. I mean, the first guy was cut. I mean, the sun was still out. He didn't even get a chance to finish half a glass of champagne. They were like, meeting, everybody together, cut. And I'm like, what? And then they're gonna say, okay, so then we like, cool, okay, the next person cut gonna be a female. So the guy started relaxing. And he said, no, we're doing another man.
I noticed that. So now you're down to 8 men and 10 women.
Yeah. Right. And so you figure like on the first day, you done cut 20% of the field. Like, if you did a numbers game of 10 guys, it's a 20% chance that you don't even get a chance to make it to the next day. And you still done all the prep work. You done all the interviews. You did all the time and stuff that we all did to get on the show. And you're gone less than, what I mean?
You're like in and out, huh?
Yeah, I felt for those people because I was like, it really wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? That experience for that. You know what I mean? They didn't really get a chance to experience with the show really detailed with it, anything. It was just there and go. You know what I mean? I don't even think they gave him enough money for gas.
Wow. Well, what about like the women? How many connections do you think you had originally, like when you first initially went in, opposed to towards the end of the show? Did you have more people you were interested in?
Yeah, well, at first I didn't. I didn't know. I'm looking around. It's like I said, you can only go on looks at the mixer. Like that's all you can. So you're looking to see who you're attracted to. For the most part, and that's who your top 3 is that day. It definitely changes.
Okay.
By the time you get to know people, so like I said, that first day, I had my longest conversation and probably most in detail conversation was probably with Amber and Stacy.
Okay. Yeah.
We actually sit down. I was looking for Stacy because Simone for season 3 told me, okay, you might be in. That's my friend, so she was like, you might be into this girl. And then me and Amber, we went around there to the side and we talked for about 2.5 hours. When I got done talking to her, I was like, man, I ain't talked to anybody else here. And the sun's about to come down. I was like, I better go make my rounds.
You don't want to be on that list to get cut. I know that's right.
Yeah. So when you saw me like talking to like, I think it was the Andrea girl, it was kind of like me just trying to have a conversation with everybody so they at least know my name. It wasn't a connection there. So I'm just trying to, I'm trying to get with, talk to everybody. So People were cool though. It was just the conditions was we were hungry. It was it was freezing towards the night. I mean, I'm talking about bone chili cold.
So like, okay, maybe I need to. So when did you all start actually filming? What month was it? The beginning of the year?
Yeah, this is January.
Okay, so you are with January 2020 or 2021? What year did you?
I think it was 2020. Maybe I think it was.
Was it 2020? Right before the COVID?
No, I went before the COVID. It was,
okay, so it was after.
Yeah. We were still kind of in COVID protocol, but we were getting in Texas. We were getting towards the end of it.
Yeah.
So whatever the year that was. So yeah, it was cold that night. Like we were freezing. I ain't ate all day. I didn't get good sleep before.
Wow.
I've been in the car 3 hours, and you got to work with the conditions that's given. But I liked what I saw.
Okay.
See that the guys. I mean, I was like, there's some competition here. Like, these are some good dudes. Every guy was tall, 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, every guy was tall. Every guy was, but they were friendly. They were cool. Yeah, I was like, it's gonna be a pretty good group for the most part.
So what about dating? How does that work? You know what I'm saying? Do you ask out the dates and arrange them, or are they already pre-arranged for you all?
Yeah, the dates are pre-arranged.
Okay.
I don't have no control over it, like I said. Which I think another aspect is not really fair because this person can have 12 dates, you can have 2.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're at a disadvantage. You have no time, camera time. You have no time with that woman. You have no story with that woman. You can't have a narrative with that woman. So it's nothing you can do. Even if you did have her attention from the phone, or even if you just took her out yourself, since it's not documented, it really doesn't count. Okay. So I had women that I had like extreme connections with, but since we didn't have no camera time, they didn't want to, they didn't want to tell that story. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, what can you do?
So it looks like your storyline is kind of already kind of created, you think, maybe, if they don't acknowledge other people that you may be feeling when you're dating?
I'm not. So that part I don't 100% know. I think they have. I mean, they do this for a living. Production does this for a living. I mean, they've done millions of shows. They know kind of how you're gonna move, how you're gonna go. You know what I mean? We've done our personality tests and stuff. So yeah, they can kind of figure some things out before you can during the process, because you're just trying to survive and two, trying to figure out what this really is and what's going on. It's a lot of emotion that goes on through you during this process, because it is a process. Yes. And yeah, you're trying to find connections and stuff, and you're trying to get.
So can you tell us about your connections, Ron? Who were you actually connected with?
So my first connection where I knew it was super mutual was Ida. Okay. And that was at the mixer, and we kind of got in a blanket and warmed each other up and stuff. And I think the next day, well, I was in the bottom 3 on the first day, but I wasn't really, because Troy was supposed to be. They did a little editing move on that one, because I wasn't in.
We're gonna speak about that editing too.
Yeah, it was really 3 of us, and it went down to 2. So yeah, so I didn't have a 50% shot of staying. It was more like 1 out of 3. I was really feeling that uncomfortable. So the next day, I was like, okay, I was in the bottom 3, whatever it was. I was the last person out. Didn't really get a chance to meet the women, so I was like, it's game on now. I got to switch it up. So I came in. I ditched the suit, came in a little more comfortable, came in a little more me, and I knew kind of what girls I wanted to have a conversation and target with at the brunch. So I wanted to, rekindle with Ida, and then I wanted to talk to Chrysanthemum, because Troy was hogging her. Beautiful. So yeah, so I went and grabbed her first, because we had a good conversation. And then me and Ida started talking, and they were kind of moving people around. So it was like, okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. Good conversation, and then that person snatched up and things of that nature. So I liked it because you kind of see who was connecting at that point. Like I saw
Okay.
Liz, and I saw when Jason and Liz was talking, and they pulled Liz and made her come sit over by me, Stacy, Cassandra, and I looked at Liz. I was like, oh, she wasn't done with that conversation. I looked at her. I was like, okay, you kind of like him, okay? And you kind of see who was kind of trying to connect with me on that second day. So then, like I said, Ida got eliminated, and I tried to stick up, stick up as much as I can, but it was unanimous, like down the line. The guys were like,
nope. Yeah, you did what you could do. I got you.
Yeah. So from there, I was the first person to narrow down my top three out of all the guys, because I wasn't about to be dating 8, 7. Yeah, I was too
multiple days.
Yeah, I was too stressed. I was working plus filming and doing everything together. So I was like, I got to narrow this thing down. All the other guys was, well, I was like, So
it was like, I'm gonna get to know these ladies.
It was pretty easy to narrow down because I was kind of dating with a purpose.
Okay.
So I knew, eventually I wanted kids, family, stuff like that. So if a woman didn't want no more kids, it was kind of a deal breaker to me. So that knocked out Benicia. She's beautiful. And I think he does probably the best job out of all the women in the cast of juggling, being successful and prioritizing a relationship.
Yeah.
But he was clear. I'm done.
No more coming out of here, huh?
Yeah, no more coming out of there. So that kind of put her off the radar. I already knew Kyra coming in, so we kind of already decided, we're going to stay out of each other's way. That's my friend. So now I'm down 2 done. I'd have gone first. That's 3 done. It's a numbers game. So now you look at it, you're like, okay, I got 7 left. And then, me and Tressa probably had the most real connection, probably out of anybody. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like super connection. Like we were just hit it off like that, like crazy. And she was in a situation with with her car situation. So I was trying to, when she had to go to the mall and stuff like that, I'll go pick her up and take her, and we hold hands. And we just had that vibe together. Like every time we saw her, it was touchy feely. It was just us. We couldn't really explain it. We always told people like, you think anybody would understand our relationship? But she was an empty nester, and like I said, I'm really close with her daughter now. Like I still talk to Trust all. That's my girl. But I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm about to try to take an empty nester, make her have kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is her time to kind of spread her wings and travel and meet people and, do things I got to do because I got to see the world. I got to have my party days. I had all that out the way. So we kind of settled on that. So when I broke it down, Liz was celibate. I'm not doing that.
I understand.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that was off the list. So, I was really, me and Andrea girl, we just had, she was very quiet. I'm more of an extrovert. It wasn't going to work. So when I got to narrowing it down, Stacy and Chrysanthemum, they're freaking frat. They best friends. You got to pick one. So I had to pick out of that. So it really, my 3 came pretty easy. It was Chrysanthemum. Alexis, I really didn't have a connection with the first 2 days. I didn't really even notice her at all.
Wow.
And we got, we were at the brunch and I said, you know what? I've not talked to this girl one time. Like, that's just rude of me. Like, you know what I mean? Let me, I already know she got me at her bottom because I ain't said a word to this woman. And so I sat down with her. I said, you know what? Let's talk. Get a chance to talk. It might not be nothing here, but let's see.
Right.
While we started talking, we started figuring out that 2 people that are supposed to be opposites had more in common than we thought. And the biggest thing was my cousin, was a Christian rapper, and big in the church and stuff like that, went to Clark, Atlanta with her, and that was her. She was doing publishing work for him, and they were like tight. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna call him, and if he vouched for you, this conversation is gonna turn totally different because that's my man's,
Right.
my ace. So I called him up. He said, "Oh, she cool. She real cool." He's like, "That's the type of girl you might need." So then I said, "Okay, let me call her." But I like I said, we have nothing in common. So I was like, I don't know anything about this girl to even have a decent conversation. So I went on her Instagram and I just started reading, some things in that nature. And I kind of I'm more of a traditional guy. So I kind of like how she was prioritizing God first, then husband. You know what I mean? Down
yes.
I can get with that as a traditional man and things of that nature. I saw how she was taking care of her son. So I was like, okay, here's a girl with already has motherly instincts in there. So I was like, okay, maybe I can get with this. So then we had the conversation on the phone, and we had a 3.5 hour conversation. Probably the longest conversation on the phone I've ever had with anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.5 hours. Wow.
In the car, like I was in the car and never left out the car.
Oh, Ron, you was on one, huh? You in the car with, guess you drinking your water, right?
You started thinking it's gonna be a brief little conversation in the car, and I never made it out the car. So the conversation went good, and then from there, that shifted everything. That one conversation shifted everything. So now we came with the shocking news that I was on her bottom, she was on my bottom.
Right.
Now she's number one. Now I'm number one. Everybody like, where'd that come from? So that even production didn't see that coming, like at all. They're like, wait a minute, hold up. Is this real? You know what I mean?
You're telling me that 3-hour conversation, you all both found out that you all have a lot in common.
Yeah, we did. And the conversation flowed like really well. And then after that, I saw her in a different light. I was like, okay, here's a woman that is attractive. She's a go-getter. You know what I mean? She's a good mother. And I start seeing some quality. And, in Ready to Love, kind of how it goes is the women always going to put people, they want something from you. Everybody wants your vote. So, so everybody going to give you the heck of a representative. Nobody's gonna give you their bad side. So you don't notice it until like halfway in, and you're like, dang, they just pick 10 of the most perfect women I've ever met in my life. Like, how do they do this? Like, you don't dawn on you that you're in a competition and that they could be blowing smoke up your ass. Like, you know what I mean? Or even the other way around with the men. So you be thinking like, man, all these women are so nice and so you know what I mean? Feminine, and all the stuff like that.
Yes, I do understand. Yes, and then they got it all going on too. You know what I'm trying to say? They all got good careers, and
Well, you
and
think
they look good.
It ain't like I said. It ain't even that. At the end of the day, they're normal people. You know what I mean?
Every day,
like every day.
They're looking for love.
And like I said, I don't even think they want to be put on a pedestal like that because we were in a normal, you know what I mean? We're normal people. People had the same problems as everyday people going. Nobody should be motivating, speaking for anybody. Like we're just normal people trying to going through the process for the most part.
Right. I guess maybe because you all, I'm gonna say this, you are the men and the women, you are like beautiful people. You are like how should I say? I would say you all are the top of the top. So when you see that and you see you all on a Ready to Love show, it does make us think the people who are not like, maybe not, how should I say, the top 1% feel like, wow, will we ever find love? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, we're not the top 1%. We're just not. They make stuff look a certain type of way, and
they make you all look awesome.
Yeah, we get regular
everyday people.
I know every cat, you know what I mean? I know the cast member on my show. I know a lot of cast members in DC. I know a lot of cast members in Atlanta. And they all regular
everyday people. Well, that's good.
They trying to make it just like me, you and Sally and Bob and everybody else down the line. We all trying to put it together. And that's why when some of the, the internet trolling and stuff like that, when it hits them, everybody be like, how come y'all ain't handling this better? And we look at them like, Because you wouldn't handle it better. You the same as me.
No, that's true. That is so true. Okay, so now we got Alexis and Chrysanthemum. Who is your third? You
My
said
third
you
one
had
was
two.
Amber. Amber was always
okay.
always in my third, never left. And I mean, like I said, I picked my top 3 on day 3.
Okay.
And it never changed.
Okay.
In my order kind of never changed, even though it kind of everything was the same. So I was pretty predictable.
Okay.
And I let the women know for the most part, this is what's going on. These are the 3 women I'm interested in.
Right.
And I'm not really talking to anybody else. Even like Tressa, who was my 4th, I had to say, Tress, I got 3 I can concentrate on. I don't have time. I don't have emotion. I don't have anything for anybody past the 3. So
wow.
We gonna be together forever because you my G, but I'm gonna concentrate on my 3.
Okay.
And it wasn't no chance of anybody else probably on there getting into my top 3 for the most part. I had my mind kind of made up.
So how was it dating multiple women? I mean, I'm just saying, how was that? I mean, because you had to different women, different, dates. How was that? Keeping up with everybody?
I was, like I said, and I don't recommend anybody who's about to be on the show in the future. Don't do what I did. It's the dumbest thing ever. But my mindset was, if I'm open and honest with all the women, there's nothing that could come back and bite me in the ass later.
True.
So I would let the women know, hey, I just got off the phone with this person, and they weren't. You're thinking that they're being transparent too, but they're not. You know what I mean? You forget that there's a game going on. So it's love going on, but there's a game going on too. So it's like, and if you have to, and it's a TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's your main reason to being on there. You know what I mean? It ain't find you love. They don't care about it.
Right.
They gotta make a TV show. So I kind of got sucked into the love aspect of saying, because I'm getting these women, they're showing me their representative, and the representative is amazing. All 3 of these women, I could marry any one of these 3. You know what I mean? It don't dawn on you, don't you? Don't know these women.
I know.
You know what I mean? For a box of soap.
And then everything's fast paced, correct? So it's like you're moving. Oh, it's not
fast. Yeah. So your emotion is on super high. Adrenaline. You know what I mean? That's why when they talk about like us towards the end, like not having a connect, like why these guys lead the connection and stuff like that. A lot of times, you're high off that adrenaline, and when it gets back to reality, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with this for the rest of my life. What's going on?
Great point. Because I want to know, of all the Ready to Love shows, how many couples are actually staying together? From different.
Out of the people that was forerunners, 0. We do have Mario, I think Reva for season 2. They got together kind of after filming, and they're still together to this day. Rashid and Simone, they got together kind of after.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're together, and I know them both personally, and I know their relationship, and I know it's a strong relationship. And then we just found out that Ace and Tyrone are now together.
Yes.
And I believe in that relationship because I know Tyrone. You know what I mean? I know
Tyrone's a good guy.
Good dude.
Ace too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ace is a good person. It's a good connection. And that's really what it boils down to.
Right.
How connected are how alike is y'all situations with life, everything. If it matches, it matches. And and that was how real relationships happen. But you see some of these where it's kind of looking like, I don't know about them together.
Right.
The audience is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because their lifestyle's not matching, their business ain't matching, what they're looking for ain't really 100% matching.
But you don't find this out on the show, Ron, that some of the core values that you all want are not the same until later?
You don't, because it ain't like in the show you were in this, like I say, you're in the survival mode. You don't need to cut. You're talking, you know what I mean? You're going through the process of that. Now, we are talking on the phone. We're talking on the phone a lot. Everybody on here is talking today. They number one, at least an hour a day on the phone. So, but that person's still selling you a dream. You know what I mean? On both sides, male and female. So they're still selling you a dream. After, though, you got to understand, we're in big cities, you know, Houston,
right.
Atlanta, DC.
Right.
It's only 10 of us. So they're saying, okay, you choose between these 10 females, or you got to choose between these 10 males. After the show, you're still in DC, you're still in Houston, you're still in Atlanta. Now it's 1 million people.
And everybody knows your name now. So I'm sure you have a lot of people coming at you too. You know, like interested.
It ain't even you get that. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But that's not really the problem. The problem is a lot of these people had situations before. So now you got people you have dealt with before that you might have liked, they kind of pulled away. And now it's saying, okay, I saw you on TV, you're doing something different kind of with your life now. Now let me come in. And you've seen a lot of guys go back to old flames. You saw that with Calfani in the resort. You kind of saw that with Joel in the Benicia thing. You saw that kind of with Jason and Liz. You know what I mean? Like, somebody in the past comes up and you know, oh, okay, she's interested in me. You know what I mean? Now you might move that way. So it's more of people more talking to people that they're familiar with than going to somebody new.
Okay.
In that situation, you're gonna get new people coming up to you, and your DMs gonna be popping. Yeah, but that stuff you kind of like, you don't trust all that. Like it's crazy.
I got you. So the word on the curve, and I'm just gonna say that it may be someone that you were really interested on the show, and I think you probably already mentioned it, but you all didn't make a connection on the show. Was it because, do you think it was because of production or because of the things that you know, reason why you thought you couldn't pursue it? Because and I'm gonna say it's Tressa. So the word on the corner that you were really into Tressa.
Well, yeah.
And so I'm wondering, I know you said on the show, production really didn't encourage they didn't show that you all had such a big connection.
They didn't show our connection at all. They did. I mean, we had, I'm talking about for TV purposes, if you could say that, we had tremendous scenes. I mean, we had scenes where she was at my house and one of her people said something that I would say borderline mean, and she went crying. And I went to her rescue, and I consoled her and talked her through it and things of that nature. We've had it was a situation with I threw a hot tub party scene. They didn't show any. They showed little clips of it because they didn't show the full thing. And it was probably one of the best scenes probably on the show. And I knew this is my house, so I'm in control now. So I knew what production was kind of trying to do. And I was like, you know, they're not gonna. I don't think they want her. You know what I mean? They want to make it seem like she won't get down to her bikini and jump in this hot tub. So I told Tressa, I said, you know, wherever I'm at in this house, you be by my side. Wherever I go. If I'm in the hot tub, you in the hot tub. If I'm out the hot tub, you're out the hot tub. And I had to tell Chrysanthemum, who was there, who wanted to get in the hot tub and want to do that. This is what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my girl. I'm protecting her being shown. You know what I mean? Because if they make her seem like something that she's not, it's gonna piss me off. You know what I mean? I'm not down with that. So I made sure, you know what I mean? So yeah, she was in the hot tub. I was in there, and then Cassandra was like, I wore this cute baby suit. I didn't get in the hot tub. She was mad, and she had every point to be mad at me.
Right.
You know what I mean? When it comes to Tressa, I was just a different person. You know what I mean? It was just how it was. And like I said, I don't know if they was trying to make me look like the bad guy at some point. Or something. They didn't show those moments, but we had very good moments on camera. A lot of emotion. Yeah, and that's and like I said, it shows to this day because we still deal with each other to this day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it does show. So let's get into production. Do you think production? I mean, everybody from Ready to Love each season they talk about the editing. Production. How do you think production shine a light on you during your season? Do you think it was a positive light or maybe not as positive? What do you think about production?
I don't know what they were trying to do. But they kind of messed it up for me. And they messed up the whole show for me because I think they were kind of targeting
Mm-hmm.
It was a rumor spread that I wasn't getting along with production or something like.
Oh, okay.
The head of production wasn't a fan of me halfway through the. I never got a chance to talk to anybody, so I don't even know fully what the situation is. But I can listen to my castmates, and they're gonna keep it real with me because I'm a castmate favorite. You know, I take care of everybody in my cast. That's my family. So they're like, oh no, they were trying to come at you, like you know what I mean. They was putting us to the side and telling us to say this and say that and all kind of stuff. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm getting targeted, and the way they were chopping the edits up, I never really got a chance to even like have a full conversation or any context to what I was saying, and it gets messed up the experience for me because now I can't even watch my season because I'm like, this ain't me, you know. Like I'm looking at the scene like, what in the world? Like you know what I mean? It's like that ain't how any of that went down. That doesn't. It's not even me. Like even my family, my brother's like, that ain't you. Like you don't say that, or you don't. You know what I mean? Like it's so chopped. It's ridiculous, and so it took away and I love the show. So to see a real show, you know what I mean, authentic and what it is, and I saw more of a narrative in it, and it was a weird narrative because none of it stuck.
Right, yeah.
None of it stuck. You know, all the shots they took, none of it stuck. It was all over the place. It was, I think, for a production team that's so good, it was not even the best job. I'm trying
Wow.
It made no sense. Like it was a bunch of questions and stuff here. Like she's not talking to him because his religion, but then these people been talking since day one. They didn't discuss that beforehand. Or now she's talking to AJ and she never brought up his religion on anything, and everybody knows he's definitely not on that scale. You know what I mean? So it was like that didn't make any sense. If you saw the conversation I had with Alexis, they tried to make it seem like I was being mean to her or something like that. That ain't not how the conversation went.
Yes, that conversation. Can you tell me more about that conversation? Because it definitely didn't. It wasn't a positive light on you. It looked like you kind of like was not even, how should I say, religious, spiritual, anything from that conversation.
Like I said, and that's what made me mad. All the editing, I understand how that goes and making a TV show, and even if they were targeting me, that's fine. Don't attack my religion. You know what I mean? If I put God first and family second, you might as well attack my family. So after that, it was kind of gloves off. I didn't like that one bit. And the fact that Alexis played along with that, knowing that we talk about religion every day for day one. She seen my Bible in the house. She's been in my house, seen my Bible, my name on it. She, we've talked about my Bible study. She knows my cousin. You know what I mean? We have a Christian clothing line called Purpose Life. You know what I mean? Like she knows all this stuff. And you played along with that for production, like no, don't do that to it. You know what I mean? To a black man who took care of you. You know what I mean? Who spent his own money, his own time, who asked about your son every day. You know what I mean? To me, I thought that was kind of it wasn't cool. And that's why in that situation, I didn't know about her and Tommy and that whole fake earlier. So I'm sitting here. And we're, I know I'm about to get eliminated. It's pretty, we know pretty much ahead of time. And we already had a 3-hour conversation the night before. So we've already ironed everything out. We've had our closure. We've had everything. So I'm like, this should be very quick. I was about to meet up with Stacy and Cassandra. You know what I mean? Saturday the other night, to kind of celebrate. Work my butt off on this show anymore. So I'm ready to go. I was like, this should be quick. And then the first thing she did was start kind of attacking my religion. And I'm looking at her like,
yeah, that was rough.
What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I looked at her. Like, what are you doing? Like, we just had a 3-hour conversation last night. You didn't bring up religion one time. Not at all.
Crazy. That's real crazy.
Yeah. So she's doing that. And I'm like, okay, she playing. So I shift the conversation because I was like, okay, you want to play that? I'm gonna shift the conversation to what's really going on, and that is you just chose AJ.
Right.
That's why we're here. Let's keep it real. And so I was like, okay, fine. You feel that way about the religion? What about AJ? And everything I was back to AJ, which is 90% of the conversation. But they cut him out the whole conversation. So you didn't hear his name one time.
No, I didn't. I was gonna say that was interesting.
We had our my elimination. They was like we were there for like hours talking. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? They cut this thing down to Smith. You don't see me saying a full sentence. It's just here. You can't do nothing for me. Like where'd that come from? Like you didn't. They cut what she said beforehand.
Wow.
Of saying that, you know what I mean? I'm trying to use her for this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm responding to her. I'm not getting nervous about, you know, when I say I thought you were smarter than that, I'm talking about AJ. I was like, you know, this guy was not paying any attention to you up to the day before elimination where you have to pick, and he doesn't have anybody else because Kyra is going Jason, and that was his connection. So he's next on the chopping blocks, and now he goes to Old Faithful. Rewind and dine Old Faithful, which is a brilliant move. I'm not taking anything from him. Like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. It is. In the game of Ready to Love, that's what you're supposed to do. And but I told her, as a woman that is as talented as you are, as fierce as you are, as supposed to be strong,
right?
You're smarter than that,
right? And
what I figured out was she's good at all these areas. Relationships isn't her where is that. And if you look at it
point,
from the strong, because you looked at it,
right?
I met her ex, Joe. You know, when we did the X scene.
Yes.
Shout out to him, cool dude. We're good friends to this day. But they didn't date until college. That was 15 years. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, so I understand your ex-husband probably didn't want to come on, even though I know him too. He's a good dude.
Okay.
But where's all the guys in between? Where's all the dating?
I was gonna say, was she dating at all in between?
I another guy. I never heard of. Okay, in between this relationship we are, and we talk on the phone every day about relationship stuff. So I was like, maybe it wasn't much dating going on in between.
Maybe
and this. So which doesn't make you experienced dater. Let's just keep it real.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, you know, I figure, you know, some things she probably need to, you know, figure out from herself. But like I said, the conversation, even that conversation at the end of it, I thought it was heated because the way it started off. But we ended it with a hug. Everything was cool. We're going our separate ways. I had to tell her about the kiss with Amber because that's just was our relationship. Like, you know what I mean? I told her if I would have kissed Chrysanthemum, I would have told Alexis right away. It was a time in the car at the mall. I was about to kiss Tressa. She went in for the kiss, and I stopped her right there because I was like, if we do this, my next call has to be to Alexis.
Wow.
When Amber was on a date at my house, and I'm cooking for her, and we watch a wedding crash and stuff like that, I had plenty of opportunities to go in for the kiss.
Right.
And I was like, dang, I'm going to kiss her before I kiss Alexis. I would have to tell Alexis.
But you know what, Ron? I saw a lot of intimacy on your season. Was that encouraged? You know, like a lot of kissing because the seasons after you all, it seemed like they didn't show as much kissing and touching.
I mean, here's kind of how my kisses. Well, the kiss I was supposed to have on a date with Alexis, we're over here golfing, putting, and having a conversation, and traction is there, you know, all that stuff is real. I'm giving her real hugs. And then you see like a big bulletin board roll past you in the back saying, kiss her now. I'm like, what?
I knew it. I'm like, what? I knew.
So you know me, I'm an alpha male. I'm like, man, I ain't kissing nobody. Anybody tells me to kiss, like, you better like do it on my own. You know what I mean? Now I look like a buster if I go read and then go in there and grab and kiss you. Like, you know what I mean? That ain't how I'm built. So I purposely didn't go in for the kiss that time, even though the moment did it. But I still wanted to give her praise and her intimacy and let people know that the connection was real because it was. So I picked her up, you know, and kind of gave her, you know, I carried her to the whole course to get her to the door.
Yeah.
I was actually going to try to put her to the side and sneak a kiss off camera because I didn't care if it was on camera or not. I'd rather for it to be off camera stuff and sneak an off camera kiss that I wanted to give myself instead of, you know, somebody telling me to do it. So And and like I said, I don't think it's that way in all situations, but some situations I've heard that they done that in the past. And
because I know from your season it was a lot of kissing. I mean, to me, kissing was the point to say this is my number one. If we kissed, then I felt some, that's what it seemed like. Now, Ron, I'm not saying that's it.
Kissing is very intimate to me. Like I don't just kiss anybody. Like if I kiss you, we together. So like I said, I purposely had many opportunities to kiss females and turned it down and didn't do it. That's why when she did kiss AJ, I did take it kind of personal. I'm not gonna lie to you because one, she didn't tell me. And two, it's the way I feel about kissing. So you kiss a guy on Friday, I take you on Valentine's Day date on Sunday on my own time, my own money, everything. I spend hundreds of dollars. Wow. You know what I mean? And you're not telling me that you just kissed a guy before you ever kissed me. Number one, you know what I mean? And the guy you told me personally that this guy's done me bad. You don't gotta worry about him no more. I'm not talking to him like that. So I'm thinking, okay, I knew you had attraction from this guy from the beginning, but you told me, hey, it ain't popping. So we're gonna focus on what's going on here. But with that said, I didn't really care if she did kiss him or if they did get back together because I'm still dating other women. We're still going through the process. Right. But I'm telling you everything. I'm being transparent with everything that's going on. But you hide that information to a week later, then you say, hey, I made a decision. I got to tell you. Right. Yeah. It's fair. We've been ready to love, but if you really care about a person and it's cool, you don't do their journey like that. Let them know, like, hey, kiss the guy. You know what I mean? I might be feeling him. You know what I mean? So you can kind of move the way you need to move. Personally. So I mean, and that's fine. It's just that sometimes when you're dating, once you throw in that intimacy, that that kind of sexual chemistry, it can kind of take you off your path of getting to know each other, getting to understand if this is somebody for me. You get kind of sidetracked. And that was why I was so surprised when I saw it. Seemed like it was just a lot of intimacy. Well, people think of it as even like the kiss with Liz and Jason over David. Because we all thought David and Liz was the couple. Like, it was nobody's doubt. From day one, you thought they had connected. Everybody did. Okay. Everybody did. From production, everybody did. Okay. It was a perfect match. Here you go. Because Liz is really like that. Like she's really the church. You know what I mean? That's real. Okay. He didn't know that book. Oh, the bad boy. You know what I mean? So here you got two people that religion is first. You know, all that other, playing towards the church crowd. Other people were doing. I don't go by that. Okay. I can ask somebody what's talking about. I'm going to David or Liz. I know they live that. That's the way they life on an everyday basis. So here you got two people that live that. You have Liz who kind of knew who David was a little bit before the show and said, okay, I like that. Right. You had, two people, that commonality was there. You know what I mean? They both attractive people. Right. It made sense. It made sense until it didn't make sense, right? Between David and Liz. Well, the part we didn't know is David I call him Super Dave. Dave's a very charismatic, very good guy, something like that. But Dave's extremely picky. And I don't know. Hey, whatever girl leads up to his standards is going to be a bad one. But yeah, she was all in still. And I think, and maybe that kiss did throw it off. Like I said, I went through that with the AJ situation. And you kind of do feel a little sense of non-loyalty when your number one kisses another guy before they kiss you. Exactly. No, and people think, it's just dating and stuff like that. No, if you're really invested in this process, and you like, yo, when I get done with this, I might have to marry this woman because the whole world has seen me go to the end with her. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go, they're gonna be asking where she's at. So I got to be real. I got to be able to stay the long run with this person and how loyal do I think a person is if they kissed another guy before they kissed me?
Right.
If it was in real life, you'd be like, what?
I know, right? If you was in real life, you wouldn't even probably see him no more.
Yeah. In real life, you would have been like,
I'm out. I'm good.
If you was dating a girl for 2 weeks and you was out in the club and you saw that, you just randomly saw that girl kissing another dude.
What? It's over.
It's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just how that works. But
I'm good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tolerated in the process.
Right.
But we're men, we got egos. That ain't really how it happens.
So did you all ever discuss that? Like, what's kind of going on when you all have your little men discussion? Did you, even when you're out, like the intertwining of the relationship, like you really feeling her, right? Did y'all even talk?
We do that because you don't want to step on nobody's rules. Like some of them we knew. Like we knew Joelle and Benicia, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We knew what that was because a lot of us, because she couldn't have kids, have Benicia in our bottle. So we're like, she gets saved every week.
Right.
She ain't saving her. It gotta be Joelle. So we thought that was connection. I thought that was connection. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Here you go, a woman with her stuff together.
Right.
She raised girls and kids. You got Joelle, who now, because of the situation with his, wife.
Yeah, he had
raised kids. She was willing to help and be that support. Yeah. And the girls, she bad, she gorgeous. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you looking at him like, why would you not? Like, this is, you know what I mean? You whatever she's bringing, you need all that. You need her her knowledge with kids. You need it all. So like why? So I'm thinking that's a couple. We're thinking, the David and Liz thing is a couple. So some of that's off limits. Now, what I didn't know was the curveball was the KG and Amber thing.
Oh,
I had no idea they were on so many dates, and that was the way production was kind of rolling that. Because when we was in deliberation with the men, he didn't speak about her that much. It was more like at first it was Stacy.
Okay, that's
Stacy had the most amazing conversation. She's this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's Stacy, and then it's this, and then it switched over to Amber, and I'm like, this guy, is he throwing darts or what's going on? And then when I watched the show, I'm like, I've been begging her to get on a date with this girl from the beginning, and you put me on 0 dates. I had to invite her to my house and cook, on my own, off camera. This guy's been on 12 dates with us.
Wow.
You're trying to set up a narrative, right? I get it. Even to the point where I was like, I talked to one of the production guys, one of the assistants. A lot of people on the set. And I was like, man, why come y'all never got me on this Amber thing? Y'all knew it was a connection there. You're like, what's going on? And they was like, Ryan, we don't, I understand it's a connection. We can't tell that story because we don't have it on camera. You did your dates off camera. So
yeah, but they're the ones that's setting up the dates. Is that not correct? Because they have to bring the cameramen there, so they're setting up these dates.
But that's how they can kind of have control of the narrative a little bit. They can set up the date. You know what I mean? So whether you can, like I said, a woman could be at your house every single day off camera, but if y'all don't got no camera time together, they can't tell you a story for Ready to Love.
Right.
That's so true. They set you on no dates. It just doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And if you a woman and you're ambitious and you talking to you about your brand and stuff like that, you're gonna go with the narrative. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna stick up for me and say, "Oh no, I really want to."
Right. Well, that's true.
Yeah, you're gonna go whatever the narrative is. So I understand how it's the real aspect of it, how it goes, but. Yeah, so we talk as guys to kind of say, like, this is what you enter. And I was the guy that was encouraging the guys to say, all right, man, y'all gonna have to pick. Because in my heart of hearts, I wanted 8 couples.
Yeah.
I wanted everybody to find somebody. I'm a sucker for love like that. So I'm always rooting for the couples. Even when I'm on the new seasons, I'm like, where the couple? I need the real couples. Like,
I know, right? You looking for them.
Yeah, what's gonna work? What's not? This and that, when I saw Tyrone and Ace, I was the biggest, biggest cheerleader for it because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And something that difficult deserves to be cheerleaded, deserves to be rewarded, because you're making a connection in probably the hardest setting and venue to do so.
And then you're doing it in front of millions of people once it's shown. You know what I'm saying? Not initially.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure with it, but the biggest pressure is keeping it up. You know what I mean? So you have a real connection and y'all really rocking with each other.
Right.
And you found each other, even if you didn't connect on the show, you found each other because of the show. Right. I think it's a beautiful thing. And they talk about the numbers. Oh, you are 3 for whatever, but those 3, those are. I'm amazed at the 3. Yeah. Every time I see it, like God, or the 4. You know what I mean? I'm amazed. Like, wow.
So were you surprised when you saw? I know you said you had kind of connections. You know, you knew I guess a few people before you came on, but when you saw those other 8 females, were you like, where have you all been? You know what I'm saying? What was your thought when you saw beautiful?
I mean, I live in Houston, Texas. We see pretty women.
I know it's huge, but
all the time. Yeah. But I was, like I said, I was more impressed at how the women were acting. This is not, because it's not how normal women act. Normal women act in the real world. You go up there, approach them. It's not, oh, hey, how you doing? It's what you want. What's going on? You know, they're real. You know, you're ready to love. You can't do that to a guy. So if you did that, you go to the guys and go, man, did you see that girl over there? She's mean. Don't vote her. You know what I mean? And then when it's time to vote, every guy's like, well, Ron did say she was mean. I'm gonna put her in my bottom. So I know there was a bunch of times where women wanted to be women and say something and didn't say it. Somebody like Ida can't hold it in.
I believe Ida can tell.
Yeah, Ida can't hold it in. She's gonna say whatever on her mind. It's
I like Ida.
Personality, naturally. I love it about her. But yeah, she can't play that type of game.
Right.
But some of the other women, it was like you couldn't say anything wrong.
Wow.
At one point, you know what I mean? Until it got down to where she knew where her path was and who she wanted, stuff like that. Then if you said something to her, then it's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Because when Alexis picked AJ finally on that last phone conversation we had, I was like, I don't know this woman. It's a different woman.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay. And I was like, maybe the one I had before wasn't representative. Maybe some of this other stuff is.
Right.
The Amber that I knew when the Amber at the reunion, I'm like, who this woman?
Wow. Wow. So maybe she was.
And then when I have 400 text messages still in my phone with heart emojis, and we talk, you know, and this and that, and been in my house, and I done bought drinks for her and her friends, and we done been outings. That ain't the same woman. It ain't the same woman with Alexis that we didn't talk about your son. We didn't been on, you know, they got my money on Valentine's Day. I have flowers delivered to the, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. The women at the end ain't the same woman. Wow. And, you know, it's sometimes you get representatives. You know, it is a game going on and being played. And even with that, I don't care. I still such a believer in love. I want everybody to find who they're supposed to find. Whatever path it is to defining marriage, love, and things of that nature. I'll be perfectly honest. If I looked at the board again and I had to do it all over again, it would have came out exactly the same.
Oh, really? Oh, isn't that interesting? You wouldn't have done anything different? Do you think you would have done anything different?
I didn't do anything. Me and my castmates said the other day, they was like, Ron, you know, production was targeting you. They was doing this and that, blah, blah. They said you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I played everything exactly the way, naturally who I am, how it's supposed to be. You know, what they do with it for TV purposes after that is what they do. But the fact of the matter is, I couldn't have played it any way different. I was really invested 100% into the process. If I was being more strategic, no, because one, my match wasn't there.
Okay.
So it was no point of going to the end with a person that's not, you don't want to do that.
That's true. You're right. You don't want to just.
If you do that,
go to the end.
You'll be mad because now you got to keep up appearances with this person. And if you're the person who's going to leave, now you're going to look like the bad guy. And that person going to play victim on you.
Right. Exactly. Sure. So let me ask you something. Do you think you all had some rebels on your season that were depicted as rebels? I mean, do you think you had anybody on your season that were rebels? production saw it as rebels, I should say. That you all just didn't conform. You did what you wanted to do. I mean,
production has enough dirt on everybody to make you however they want to make you.
Oh, okay.
They made some good guys look bad. They made some bad guys look good. They saved some people's butt, and others they try to make something up or try to find something. It goes to that extreme. So it just depends on it. You know what I mean? Like, TV matters. How you show up on camera. How, you know what I mean? Okay, this person is good on camera. This person is photogenic. This person,
right?
You know what I mean? He's going to be good on TV. We need to save him and do a certain narrative because maybe the audience might gravitate more to that character. You know, it's still a TV show.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It's sensational TV. That's what it is. It's sensational TV. But
some people, they might say he's gonna be good on camera.
Right.
Man, look at all this stuff he just said. we can't. We're gonna edit that out. We can't show none of that. we're gonna make him look like this.
Right. But then the production, they do come and ask you all to do certain things, right? You know, do certain things, say certain things. So did you think there were people on your castmate who said, no, I'm just showing you me. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm not, if you're asking me to do something that's against how I feel, I'm not doing it. So do you think there were some, that's what I'm calling rebels, people who didn't conform?
Oh, yeah. It's a bunch of people that just are about a code. I'm about a code. You know what I mean? Like, they know who they can kind of finesse. And this depends on how bad somebody wants something. Like, some people really needed this show. You know, it is what it is. It was some bad times going on.
Well, yeah, I forgot you all did get paid. Yeah, you get a pay.
Yeah, some people needed the show. So
right, I get you.
You had more leverage on some people than you had on others. Other people said, yo, you cut me right now. You're working me to death. I'm done. You know what I mean? And other people were like, man, I want to make it to the end. I want to do this. I got this branding going on. I got I want, you know what I mean, be a TV one day. And, you know, I think reality kind of sets in with those people where they're like, oh, there ain't gonna be no spinoff. There ain't gonna be no
Yeah.
It's like, nah, like, you know, if you have superior.
But do you think you can see watching the show now, going back and watching the show, maybe not, you know, all the season, why people sometimes think these shows are fake? Like, you know, it's a fake show because sometimes from us looking outside in, did you notice that?
It doesn't it's not a process, but honestly, it's TV. I got to think of all the shows that our show kind of has to be the realest of shows because we're normal people.
Right.
It just is what it is. They can say all this. He's an actor. He did acting work before and things of that nature. And some people probably had done some things. We've seen people on different shows and things of that nature. But I know these people personally. And I know that that's not their goal. They ain't who they are. You know what I mean? They're the regular people. And they came on the show as regular people. And like I said, when you're on the show, your emotions are real. They're there because you're in a bubble. It's only 10 of y'all. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
So when they talk about Jason didn't really like Liz, he was just in the Kyra first and she was second choice. That's not true. I was there. He called me on the date and said Liz looking good. You know what I mean? I know when everything kind of happened. So at one point, yes, he was really into Liz. Like it just is what it is. So I know at some points connections were real, even if they didn't make it too far past the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
but they were real.
Yeah, at one point the guy was really feeling that girl. At one point that girl was really feeling that guy. And it just didn't work, you know. So we're real. The emotions are kind of real, you know. If I see any emotion on TV and things of that nature, I know what they're feeling in that aspect. It's real. Okay. It might not be realistically long term thinking what they're doing, but in that moment is real. Okay. And yeah, so like I said, I don't blame production for anything because I tell them for day one, we're just normal people. Our lives ain't, you can't just take our lives and put the cameras on and film. We ain't that entertaining. We're not.
Believe it or not, when they edit and cut it's very entertaining.
Even if it gets played, we're boring. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like it ain't we ain't got nothing that You got to make narrative.
How did you experience? What was your experience with like bloggers after the show? You know, after people saw the show. You know, even though you're real people, how did you experience? What was your experience with bloggers?
The bloggers were cool with me because they understood.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they knew my story.
Mm-hmm.
I had the receipts.
Okay.
They were just kind of like, and even my future castmates, they know the stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
okay,
you know, it's just a shame. You know what I mean? Like, dang, you know what I mean? They did, you know what I mean? They tried to do you like that. Like, but
right.
Yeah, the bloggers understood because it made sense to them because they've been following the show. They understand.
Right.
They kind of see like, man, even like Little Black Book was like, you know, he even said it on his thing. He was like, dude, they had no smoke for nobody reunion but Ron. They wanted, you know what I mean? You could tell it was obvious. So it was like,
off with Ron, huh?
Yeah, they understood it. Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of obvious to them. You get the trolls and stuff on the internet and things of that nature, but we all get them. You know what I mean? You think it's just you. You look at even the, you know, everybody gets them. And some people are more sensitive to them than others. Others might not get a lot, but make it a lot. So
did you have a lot of interviews though after the show? I mean, you know, did you do a lot of interviews?
You're supposed to get your main interviews, but it was a lot they didn't want me to say, so I didn't get those. Especially then when I was mad. Oh yeah, they didn't want to put me on them interviews.
So let me ask you something, because I saw you interview Kamisha, and I know Kamisha's interviewed a lot of the Ready to Love cast. But also, I know there's been some issue with Kamisha interviewing. So, do you know how that started? You know, like what happened? Why they're so? Or did you know on the site at the time that it was not positive to interview with Kamisha? They weren't, you know, they weren't. They were. What was the deal? What was going on with this?
I don't know what it was. I was personally thought they told us it's certain people we don't want y'all interviewing with.
Right.
You have to go through us in order to do an interview first. It's the way they wanted it to happen. But it's like, how much power is your word gonna hold when I saw you try to do this?
Right. Okay.
You know, now I ain't, you know what I mean? How much do I gotta listen to you? You know what I mean? Like I'm a grown man. You know, you ain't daddy, you know what's going on. Like, so I'm gonna interview whoever I want to interview with, and other people felt that way now. And now I think everybody's like that. Like, man,
well, yeah, it is. But I was wondering, what were they saying behind the scenes? Like, you can only interview with certain people, or
they had certain people they wanted their interviews with first. And like at one point, Little Black Book wasn't a favorite to interview with.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh no, don't. You know, we can't do the Little Black Books. We can't do that because the cast were mad at some of the way that this thing was going down, and they were giving out information and things of that nature. And I think production gets finally said, we're not going to be able to stop that and still have a show. Some of the charm of the show is the castmates keep being real on these interviews after and kind of giving the real, you know what I mean? So we're going to ride with that now since we're not going to be able to stop it because, like you said, you're not going to be able to do whatever you want to do in production and expect these guys to follow suit after. It ain't gonna happen. Like, you know what I mean? You have some people that, yes sir, yes man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I understand.
You know, favoritism, but other people are gonna be like, man, ain't no way in the world. Like, they don't have enough leverage on you to stop you. You know what I mean?
Okay. So your contract, but you're under a contract. So does that contract end? And then at that time, I mean, I'm sure it ends. But does it end? I don't know. Maybe you're still under.
What is it? What's a contract?
NDA. Well, NDA.
What are they gonna do? They're working you to death. They're barely paying you.
Barely feeding you, right?
They ain't gonna sue. You know, for one, a lot of people in this cast you can sue anyway. And your lawyer is probably $8,000 an hour. You know what I mean? My lawyer ain't gonna be that. So is it worth suing somebody for being in it? And you really don't want to go to court with some of these people because they do have certain things on. I mean, it's just
right. I got you.
Yeah. So what can they really do? You know what I mean? On a contract, they're not doing enough for you to take anything away for the most part. You know, it's a fair situation. You put me on a show. And they told me, they say, you know what? We think it's fair. Now, you get to defend yourself because of how this is played sometimes. Right. We think it's only fair that you get to defend yourself. Now, how you do it and who you do it to is more who their concern is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They don't want necessarily you out in a lot of stuff on a live and then 5 bloggers speak. I got in trouble for that. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I did one live only because I'm not a go on live every day TikTok show. That's just not who I am. You know, but I did one live to get the whole truth out. And I don't know if I did it early or you know, whatever like that. But bloggers started taking the live and put it on their thing. And that turned some heads. Oh, I was like, man, I just did a little live. I was done. You did take it down, and all the bloggers and had it. Now we weren't worried about your little 5,000 people, but now you got bloggers with bigger platforms.
Oh,
now it's a concern, and I was like, my bad. You know, I didn't. You know,
okay.
I didn't
so productions come for you, so they come for you when you all step out of line outside.
Yeah. They'll mention it briefly, but nobody wants to have a real conversation about it. It's just more like this and that. And I'm looking at them like, I don't know world what I'm supposed to know. Like, should have sat down and had a conversation, you know?
I was gonna say, now I know you all signed, like I said, I know you signed a contract, but when you went into this show, was it anything that you told them that you don't feel comfortable doing? I'm just asking. I mean, I don't know. Do you just sign a contract and say whatever you say, I'm gonna cut, edit?
You think you go in thinking there's no way in the world they're gonna do you that bad. Or maybe like this is Oprah, this is Bill Packer, this is Black Excellence, and then they got all these little production assistants. And these people are cool. Their job is to befriend you, right? Because they want the tea before anybody else get it, so they can report it back. So like you over here, like thinking this is a cool environment, happy family, and stuff like that, until you figure out everybody's in on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So it's like you don't think of it like
right.
This. But I tell you what, if you are going on the show in the future and you have a career path that could be affected by somebody, you better go to head of production and say, hey, this bet not do this, you know, and things.
Yeah.
I had a situation where they came in on me on some gang camera stuff, and I didn't know how to react, so I didn't react the way I wanted to on a surprise thing. And I told him, I said, "Yo, self-eliminate me right now because I don't think how that setup happened. And if any of that went on TV, we gonna have some problems." And they knew I was serious about that, and none of that never happened, but. And they told me they wouldn't, and they stuck by it. But the fact of the matter is, you got to be vocal because if you're not,
okay, exactly. Thank you. Vocal, at least vocal. You have to.
You should. Yeah, you got to. Voice your opinion. I didn't mostly because I didn't know what was going on. It was my first time on TV.
Right.
I never wanted to be on. You know what I mean? One of my dreams to be on TV, so I wasn't really following it like that. But the fact of the matter is, every person should have boundaries, just not in life, period.
Right.
And you need to keep your boundaries no matter what, your code, no matter what. You know?
You really do, because you do have a life after this show is over. And people are looking at you every day on this show, and they are developing opinion on you. So you're right. There should be some things that are off limits that they can't.
It was different, and you saw it. You really saw it in the DC show.
Oh, in the DC, yes.
Because DC is a different city than Houston, Atlanta.
Right.
You know, we got enough ratchet culture. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Everything, how they portray you and stuff like that, you're gonna be okay. But in DC, this is politics, Black excellence. Your reputation is everything.
Exactly.
So you saw people trying to play it real straight. And if you try to play this show real straight, it's gonna go.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's no way.
You can't really have a game plan. You know, a lot of people have a game plan going in, but once you have a game plan and they find out you have a game plan, production do, they're gonna.
Yeah, I believe
you. Real quick.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Now, with you bringing up DC, what did you think as far as how did you compare your season with DC season? I mean,
with the DC season, I was like, whoa, because I thought I started seeing like the drama escalate. I saw like more drama. After that reunion on season 2 with Mario and that Tommy situation, and when I looked at the views of that reunion, and I saw like the regular stuff of the shows was having like this many views, and that reunion had 6 times the views, I was like, oh man, these guys about to start upping up the drama.
And yes, they did.
And each season it seemed like it had a little more and a little more. So when I saw what happened to me on my season, I was like, oh, they about to light DC up. This to see how far they could pull the envelope without it being a problem. And they pushed it on that one. I mean, to the point where we had some lawsuits, I heard. We had all kind of stuff going on. And I think after that, it's okay, we might have went too far with it. Let's calm
down a little bit. So I guess we're going to see what Miami is, because like you said,
I think Miami, you got to bring the drama. Because
it's Miami.
Yeah, it's Miami. So I think you're just going to see an increase from now on. I hope it don't go to a point where we are like a Love and Hip Hop.
No, oh God, please, Oprah, go and talk.
But like I said, I thought like this Potomac season, I thought they kept editing to as minimum as they could, and I thought it was a great season.
Now, yes, Potomac. I think Potomac is a great season, but DC, DMV.
Oh yeah, DMV was. They were going.
Wow.
And the bad part about it is I've met a lot of people from the DC cast.
That's what I wanted to ask.
And they are good people. Oh my God. Some of the most phenomenal people I've met out of all the cast. I mean, Corey to Camille.
Yeah.
Cornelius.
Have you met Cornelius? I'm sure you met Camille. Have you met Cornelius?
Yeah, well, I know Corey. I met Cornelius from Corey and stuff. I know he's a good dude. You know what I mean? He's a good people. Even Naeem, you know, good person, good person. Like, you know what I mean? These are good people. I mean, the DC cast came down kind of for my birthday down there in Houston. Nice. Carrie, Courtney, and phenomenal people. Like,
they are beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, fun. I mean, if I had to hang out with a cast, including my own, that's the cast I'm hanging out with.
Wow, that says a lot.
They're fun. You know what I mean? That's a cast where they're down to earth, they're fun, cool people. So they had all that, but yeah, the way it was.
Ron, what you say? Ooh, it was rough, wasn't it?
Man, it was like
it was rough. Yeah, I know. I bet they're still getting some backlash.
Yeah, and even like I said, the aftermath to the, you know what I mean? Your star couple was Dante and Isha. Ooh. And now you got the backlash on that. And then you got a situation where you're Dante, you can't even say anything about it. You just gotta.
But you know, another thing I will say, I don't see a lot, and you would tell me a lot of IG lives from your season. It seemed like that was controlled. You remember you said you did one.
Yeah. They were kind of controlling a little more of the IG live situation.
But DC, you know, from the seasons progressive, they're always on live. You know, they're talking and sharing information. So
and I think, you know what I mean, like it depends on the person. I mean, some people just want to get back to their regular lives, you know,
right?
Because it's hard to get back to your regular life.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to find out. I mean, we all need therapy after this.
I was going to say, what's the PTSD?
To me, to Liz, to everybody that we all need therapy after. We all get that, and we don't get the proper help of transitioning back to your regular life. And so some people when I got done, I wanted that more than anything. I was like,
right.
I was happy. I was so happy.
It should be encouraged. Is it not encouraged?
It's not, they don't give you outlet the way to get there. So, time will eventually get you there, but you don't know that going in. You just, it's like, and you're dealing with all this show stuff, but you still got to live your regular life. I still got a career.
Exactly.
I still got businesses. I still got family. I still got friends. I still want to get back to the dating again. You know what I mean? I still got other stuff that I want to get back to doing that I loved doing before. But then you got all this trauma and pressure and stuff in the show and stuff that just happened to you that you got to deal with. And I'm not gonna lie, I went through nervous breakdowns. Nervous breakdowns. I still bite my teeth now that came from the show. You know what I mean? It's for life, for all I know.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I had to deal with it. But with that said, and I'll tell this for any castmates, even the new ones that are in Potomac right now, after reunion, it gets like that. Be patient. You will get your life back if you want it. You know what I mean? So it dies down. Nothing is as big as it seems at the moment. It seems like it's huge, and it really isn't.
Okay.
You're never gonna have a fan go up to you in public and be disrespectful. It never has not happened one time yet, or even close.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
It never happened. Never. Everybody, all the fans, no matter what your character was on the show, whatever it was, all just want a picture or ask about the show or recognize you and say hey or give a hug, and everybody's fine. Internet is different. These fools crazy. But
I was gonna say social media.
Yeah, they're crazy. But you gotta understand, for one, you're letting that happen because you turn off the computer and they disappear.
Exactly.
And for two, you know what I mean? They got their own issues and problems and things of that nature. And you, like I said, when you're dealing with fans and people at the show, you just got to be very careful. This is a different fan base that watches our show. You know what I mean? This is a fan base that is a little older,
right?
Things. They're home on a Friday night watching this. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's true.
Yeah. And like I said, I went into a situation with a fan where you know what I mean? This woman was crazy. Like literally,
wow.
If I would have met this person in person, which I'm glad I didn't, I might not be here.
Oh wow! So you had that kind of experience. Wow.
Well,
social media is crazy. I'm just saying it's counsel.
It is. Like I said, I knew. Like I said, when I went through my nervous breakdown, I was like, this was my first kind of battle with mental health. I've always been a very mentally strong, super strong person. Like, and when I saw how weak I was at one point, it scared me. Like, what in the world? So I was like, who else is going through this? Because it happened very quickly. So I was like, I was trying to be a champion for mental health. So I'm trying to help out whoever it is, give them my experience, say, you know, I made it through this. This is how you do it. Maybe some advice and stuff like that. So I'm taking people who are mentally, you know, have mental concerns. And my sister's like, "Oh, you can't do that with your energy. You're not a doctor. You're not a lab test."
That messes up your energy. She right.
Yeah. So then you get calls and emails at 2:00 in the morning. Final people. I'm like, I can't deal with this. So I had to back off of something I was really passionate about with mental awareness and stuff, because I guess I'm not qualified or good enough to help these people in the proper channels. I can give them numbers and stuff and organizations to help them, but I can't. You know what I mean? I know my limitations as a person on this show. I'm not going to go out here and try to be a motivational speaker.
Right. I got you.
I'm Ron. I'm a cool guy. I'm successful in my own right, but I'm the type of guy that we can go out, have a drink together as a fan, and I'm going to tell you about the show and give you a hug and be nice to you. And you're going to feel my energy and my warmth right away and kick it with you. But I can't. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I can change your life and buy this brand. And I ain't gonna do you like that. I'm gonna give you advice and real stuff. But I tell everybody, I'm the homie. You know what I mean? I'm your guy. I'm the cool guy.
But do you suggest maybe having a group of you all past OGs to maybe be someone who can talk to the cast once they're done? Because again, it looks like everybody's experiencing the same thing, and they may have questions. I'm just saying, do you think a support group from
we're there. I feel I had Jay, I had OGs I probably could have went to, but you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed. You're strong. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm strong.
Right. And I know you're strong. To me, that's exactly why it would be great to have a support group within you all. I'm not saying we have to know about it to go and say, look, I know you're smart. I know you got it going on, but because you've been on the show, there are some things that's
it is, and they know, they understand. That's like we are alumni, right? So everybody's so tight because we understand what everybody's going through. We don't really have to say it. We know it. It took me a while to be able to tell you this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because you never want to put yourself in a situation of weakness to anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it doesn't have to be said. I know they know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. Okay. He could be a castmate, like I said, in the next season, 3 seasons from now, or season 1, and we're all automatically we meet. We're gonna have that that bond because we know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're right. That's true. What about reunions? Do you all do a reunion? Like, all cast reunion? Have you done anything like that?
We haven't, but the magical part about being on this show, the cast is they're going to amazing cities. And when you go to those cities, you have boots on the ground. You got people, you can hit up your castmates and they're going to take care of you. They're going to show you good
nice. That's what's up.
Yeah, they're going to come out with you. They're going to show you where to go direct. So,
that's
I feel like I got people I can call when I'm in Atlanta.
Yes.
Call when I'm in DC now. It's going to Miami. I'm going to have some people I can call when I go to Miami down there.
Loving that.
Yeah, we're all going to be combined together.
Yes.
And like I said, it's everybody's usually cool with each other, especially if it's a cast. And you're probably more cooler with another cast than maybe on your cast because you're in a dating situation with somebody.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to be cool with them after. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Would a Jason and Liz ever be cool? Probably not. You know what I mean? No. With you know what I mean? So it's not probably a situation we can get everybody in one room.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
People ain't gonna show up. It's even some people with me. If that person's in that room, I'm probably not going. I don't care if all the rest of my cast is there, and I got a good connection with my cat because I do. But I'd be like, I'd rather not be around that energy.
Wow.
I'm just gonna be an elephant in the room, and I'm the type of person that likes to answer elephants in the room, so I don't be in that room.
That's interesting because it's been a few, a year or two since your season, and you still feel some people energy you wouldn't want to be around.
Yeah, some people did some stuff to me that I felt as unnecessary, and I feel like
it was personal. It wasn't just production in this TV show.
It probably wasn't personal. It probably was production in a TV show, but how dare you? You know what I mean?
I got you.
I didn't deserve that. I was good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Detroit. We got a different code. It's like some people I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? You couldn't pay me enough. You know what I mean? You just couldn't.
I get it.
It's some lines and stuff I wouldn't do for fame or anything else like that.
No, I understand.
Yeah. And then if I did do it, it would happen. I would come to you like a real man and stuff and say, this is the situation, man. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And as a man and give my apologies or give you what the scenario is and stuff like that and make it true. And then if those people came to me, I'm the most forgiving person in the world. That's just who I am. So
Okay.
I don't care if it's the people that I'm thinking of or it's the production themselves. The production came to me and said, Ron, let's sit down, hash it out. We could hash this thing. We could be done in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because I understand where they were, coming from, and I like production. They were cool people to me. Even the head of production, they were cool. You know what I mean? As a personality wise and things of that nature. I don't know where it went off the rails. We could iron it out in 5 seconds because I was the type of person. I wasn't a rebel. I was on time for my dates. Through my interviews, my parts. I was the easiest person. I was easy to work with for the most part. And if they wanted me to do something different, you didn't have to go at it that way. You could have came to me and asked me, and you probably would have got your wish granted.
Right. Okay.
I probably would have been like, oh, okay, we going with this narrative? Fine. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whatever, So that could be worked out. If a person who came to me and said, yo, Ryan, I'm sorry the way that went down here.
Right.
Now that I look at it, I was wrong. I would probably shake that person's hand, give him a hug, and we could be done with it then. But until that happens,
okay,
you can't nothing you do. Like I said, I know a cast member on our cast who says, "Hey, this person got to give me a public apology."
Ooh.
If they do that, because I was like, man, there's no way in the world y'all should be enemies. Y'all cool, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say
that person got to give me a public apology because they dogged me in public on the show. You got to give me a public apology now, and then I could let bygones be bygones. Some people still want that,
Okay.
I'm the type of person where if I got a problem with you, I'm coming to you.
Exactly.
Like me and KG, we had a little incident. Not really, but I went to him. We trust the thing. He, you can see him kind of. He went outside. I ran outside. I stopped him and said, "Yo, man, let's talk. You come to me. Ain't gonna be no elephants in the room.
That's big of you.
And you know how I come. You know, if I feel something about a certain situation, I'm coming to you direct. And he respects that about
who wouldn't?
And I respect him for being, listening and understand, you know what I mean? You know how it is. You know, somebody like Jay, he gonna tell you how it is.
Yeah, I like
Jay. You can get offended at first, but then you're gonna think about it and be like, he wasn't trying to offend me. He wasn't trying to diss me. He was
it's like constructive criticism.
Yeah, alpha people kind of do that. Stacey the same way. Stacey gonna give you what you need to hear. And it's gonna sound mean at first, kind of like if you ain't ready for it, but then when it settles in, you're gonna be like, okay, I know, I get what she was trying to tell. She was trying to help me. She wasn't trying to come at me.
Then that takes a mature person too, Ron, as
it does.
To receive that.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that's mature enough to receive it. Now, some people that could never receive it.
They will not receive it. No, they won't.
Yeah, some people couldn't receive it. And we see instances of that too. Where like, man, that person was, they would come at me, you know what I mean? They can just take one little thing and this person is triggered.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Have you talked to production at all though since your season? Like, do you keep, so you have.
Well, some of the assistants that were cool,
yeah,
they know the deal. They're like, okay, that was a maybe from the top down type of situation. Me and you was cool. Like, you came, you did your job. You came there, you was on time, you made life good, and you were pleasant, happy. We know you were really there for love. We saw it all.
Right.
And those people knew the deal because those are the people you spend the most time with. But they go to different sets of production. They're in a different thing of production. Like this, the shots are called from the top down. It's one person making all the decisions. So, it just is what it is. And for that person, I would sit down and talk to him and we could iron it out in 5 seconds. Because I'm not the person where I'm not hurt. I'm not bashful about it. I'm just more like, we can talk it out, get on the same page and be done.
Yeah. I think that's awesome that you like that. And I wish more people would be able to talk. But again, you have to be able to accept criticism before you can, you know what I'm saying, sit down with somebody. And if somebody says something to you and you can't just reflect on what they say, you know what I'm saying? And maybe
what I don't do, and it's a lot of this going to set and it needs to stop. And a lot of this is production and stuff like that. But there's a lot of he say, she said stuff on our set. And it's so childish. And I can see why people, you heard it kind of in interviews, stuff like that. I can see why people be like, this is some high school shit.
I'm glad you said.
Yeah, there's some childish stuff that be going on. And it do for like 40-year-old people.
Thank you.
We let them put us in this whole childish he say, she say BS. When no, like you got to hear it from the source. Don't you know what I mean? Because that's how they get you. They'll have you in a situation, production come up to you, and they'd be like, say this about Dietrich, for example. I'd be like, no, I ain't saying that about Dietrich. That's my man. Oh, but what I heard was he was saying that you.
Oh, no.
Now, will you say this about Dietrich? Don't tell him I said it, And then by then, you didn't already said it. Now, you know what I mean? That's how it escalates to some BS. But
and then they take that little verse and edit to something else, and then it looks like you're completely.
Well, then they got what they wanted because they didn't say, oh, the person that said this. You ain't gonna go to that person until later if you do it all. And by then they already got what they wanted. So the scene. So
that's yeah.
So the he say she say thing is kind of a ploy, but then you got people doing it anyway, off camera and not, you know what I mean?
True.
And I was the type of person, I was real with my cats. If I said something, I'll come in there and be like, yo, man, I said this. It was a situation, Stacey came, I said this, Ron, leave your heads up. I'm okay with it. And everybody's cool with it like that. A lot of people were not as head on like that to say, man, let me call, you know what I mean? I was talking on the phone and one of your connections, I might have said this, you know what I mean? Or this, and go to you and let you know. And give you an apology and be real about it. So,
well, let me ask you something. How often do you all talk to Tommy or see Tommy? Do you only see Tommy showtime when it's time to film, or does he come through?
No, I get showtime. This whole thing that we got Tommy's number, we hit Tommy up like, yo, you know what I mean? Tommy, It got shows all around.
I know he does, but I was just wondering how it is. Like, do you all ever sit down?
Hey, I got a relationship problem with this girl I'm talking to. Let me call Tommy and give me a sit down.
No, I just thought maybe he hung out a little bit more than when you all on set.
I mean, we're in Houston. We're lucky. We're in Tommy's hometown. So we see Tommy probably more than anybody else.
Okay.
In DC and Atlanta, like I can go somewhere and run into Tommy.
Okay.
Just out and about, and cool dude. Like I said, I got the utmost respect for the guy because in Houston, a city that I rep, and I know the OGs. The guys, the old school guys that. People that got power here to give it to you straight, that you don't want to mess with. If you get, what I mean, that is going to give you a warning. Hey, young blood, don't be. Tell you once, don't do this. Them guys, the guys I really trust in the city of the H, have the utmost respect for him from high school up. So I'm like, man, you got endorsed by the OGs.
Yeah. So Tommy is solid. In other words, he's a solid person.
He's solid with me always. So he's a solid dude. And like I said, different. Off camera, now on camera, real brother.
Oh, no, I understand. No. I get it. I was just wondering how often you all see him. That's what I was just wondering.
No, we might run into him, like I said, out and about. I mean, all these castmates, I'm not sure, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, Dad, do you remember me? He got a lot going on, but, he's the host of the show.
Yeah, exactly. I was just wondering.
He's not.
Because I know somebody got self-eliminated, and I think on Potomac, and Tommy said, look, can y'all let me know if y'all hear anything? Like if anytime somebody tell you they self-eliminate, could y'all shoot me and let me know?
Well, here's the thing. It ain't, I don't know what's up with all the self-eliminations.
Me either. What is up with that?
It has some production in it because it's not easy to self-eliminate. It ain't. I tried to self-eliminate. We saw when David tried to self-eliminate. Show what they did to him. It ain't easy to self-eliminate.
Right. So but the seasons behind you seem like it's easy for them. So what's going on? So what did it?
I think they got to a situation where they were probably like, these people don't like this whole "you ain't ready for love" BS scenario situation. So instead of doing that, let people leave on their own will, especially in DC, where because. To the audience, I guess it is a difference. We all really self-eliminating at the point, but I guess it's a difference between you self-eliminating and them kicking you off, sort of say. Not knowing that when they kick you off, you've been ready to go in.
We can see that when people be like, hallelujah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you've been ready to go anyway. So it's really the same thing. But from an audience standpoint, let's give the castmates some more dignity and just have them say that they self-eliminated instead of just saying you ain't ready to love and we booting you off, which I respect. It was some things that they did this season production that I have a lot of respect for them doing. That was one of them. It was a change. And, in the Eric and the Kai situation, the way they had him self-eliminated and handled it where, it kept them the rips, this the field situation in the season before.
Exactly, with Sheila.
Some stuff, you know what I mean? They could have exploited. They did it for the safety of those people, for their reputations, for, their careers and their future. And I respect that. I'm glad we ain't getting to the point where we're that grimy.
Right. But the thing about it is so funny. You all, again, your season, I'm not going to say you all, your season was very... Like I said, you had a lot of intimacy. You had a lot of sexual chemistry, but you didn't have some of the same issues that DC and Potomac have had based on intimacy, touching. You understand? That's just, it blows my mind when
we could have. Like I said, I got in trouble probably around the time, probably why I really got in trouble with production. I don't know why, but I ended up having a house party at my house. The infamous house party. And it went from, it was like after one of my dates, it was a group date. So I had like 4 people already at my house.
Okay.
So everybody was like, okay, we're going to wait the production lead because we weren't supposed to be around each other like this. It was COVID and we got a lot of stuff going on. They were like, we're going to have to call all the rest of the cast. It's at my house. I can't say no. It wasn't my idea. So I'm like, okay, now I got a host. I already on 3 hours of sleep. This is my 3rd day today. So I went, we got chicken. We went and got more lick. You know what I mean? We over here. And the party went from like 9:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God!
Well, you got people coming in and out of rooms. You got narrative switching and things of that nature.
Yeah, y'all was banned.
And to this day, I'm like, God, it was really no drama at that part. Everybody was happy to be there.
No drama.
No, and even the stuff that went down to that party, that never really got out.
Ooh, share some of that juice. Give us some of that tea, Ron. Come on,
Ron. At my house.
Give us a little bit.
It would stay in my house. It didn't happen in my house. I can speak on in any way that I choose to because I pay the bills.
Oh man. We want some of that tea, Ron, but that's okay. If you ain't gonna give us a little of that tea. But anyway.
But yeah, if anything, that would have sparked some of the stuff that happened,
right.
in situations, but it didn't.
So that surprised you though, how much is going on with the other seasons?
Oh yeah. It really surprised me, especially that they have a bigger blueprint than we had. You gotta understand, like all I had was season 2 to go by because season 3 was filming right before us, and by the time we got a chance to concentrate on even watching some of their stuff, it was time for us to get ready.
Okay, gotcha.
To do our thing. So they were like, "Oh, you didn't see those interviews and stuff in season 3?" I'm like, no, I didn't get a chance to see any of those. By now, though, if you were
right,
you done got enough information to kind of
that's true.
to smooth through a little of these narratives because the narratives have been very similar. They don't change much.
They don't. I noticed that too. Even the people are very similar.
Like even because they don't have time. This is a very budget focused things. They don't got time to reinvent the narrative. That's what I'm saying. It's always going to be like everybody's saying now that they get watch the last season show. You know what I mean? The finale of this one is, they trying to force 3 couples like they always do. Well, that's the narrative. The narrative is to get down to 3 couples. We don't care if y'all like each other or y'all friends. We need 3.
What you say? That's the storyline. That's the game.
Storyline.
If you don't understand it, then you better get on the. You better
and
get.
I'm like, why can't it be just 1 and y'all celebrate that? Why can't it be 8? You know what I mean? Like, why is all we gotta force it down to 3, no matter we piece it together or not?
Well, I think they missed out on this episode because they only had 2 couples that actually for Potomac.
Yeah, I guess
actually going home and chose each other.
Yeah, they kind of self-eliminated themselves with the
Paul and Dekia.
Yeah, which is mutual. I think they were both in a situation and probably mutually saying, "Hey, I want to date after this. I ain't about to be seen as a couple with this person if it ain't gonna work out."
Exactly.
No, in reality. But and then you got the Clifton and Joy, who Clifton that's my dog. He's a good dude.
He is. I mean, from what I see, he seems to be awesome. Yeah, and Joy too. It's so funny. The last season, DC. I can't. I mean, we had some fan favorites. I'm not gonna say that, but this season, oh my God, it's like how should I say? We're looking forward to Joy and Clifton, like moving and living abroad and Cancun and living the rest of their life, and then you want.
Is that gonna happen though?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Now, Ron, I'm talking to you, and you like, we're batting 0 for.
Well, I'm looking at it.
Like 100.
I think Clifton. We're normal people, but some season you get somebody with some talent. You'll get a Mike Bless. It's a talent. You meet him, it's a talented guy. You know what I mean? Charismatic, got the look, perfect for TV. Just happened to line up. You got somebody like I like Jimmy for season 2. You know Jimmy when you see Jimmy. That's Jimmy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's that personality. It sticks out. Right. And then you see Clifton, who really comes off very well on camera.
He does.
Personality-wise, everything is there. Has talent to maybe do something in television later. Now, all of us, everybody wants to do something in television, so nobody has the talent to do it.
I don't know, but Ron, I'm going to say, I think you got it. I think you got that it factor. I'm just saying, you may not ever want, I don't know, would you ever do reality TV or any TV again?
Maybe. Like I said, I was totally against ever doing it again but now that I understand it a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have big personality. I mean, I love your personality. And just
I would do it.
Talk,
I would probably do it again at certain things. But it has to work out for my life, like I said, because it is very time consuming. People don't understand how much work is involved with this type of stuff. They're like, oh, why don't you just jump up and do that? Dude, it's you have to put everything on pause for this. This is number one when it goes down to it. That's why when you saw like Tina self-eliminate, I didn't understand at first, but when she said she had a 2-3-year-old, I was like, I understand.
Okay.
You can do this and still be a attentive parent. It's too much work. And even like the Joy situation, she's going back to Mexico to sing.
Yes.
She probably had that on hold. Like they probably been waiting on her. Like they probably was like, dude, we needed you months ago.
True. Okay. That's why she does like the next day.
Yeah. She's probably been on hold. Like they probably been like, man, we can't hold on much longer. You gotta come.
Okay.
They probably might even had to speed up the reunion filming in order to get her in there, in order to get her shit back out, because
you're probably right.
You only hold stuff for so long. But they knew about that ahead. You know what I mean? From day one. Everybody knew about it. So the fact that it's, you got to play into the narrative. The fact that they think, oh, she gets sprung it up on them.
Well, okay, so I'm not going to keep you a lot longer, but what do you say? Go ahead, because I know.
Yeah, if I was Clifton, the first thing I would do if she's gone 6 months is I would go on every blog I can, blog and stuff like that, and let everybody know that we are taking a break for 6. Like we're during the 6 months, we are not together. We are taking a break.
That's interesting.
Because you're now a fan favorite. Everybody's gonna want. The story is any dirt on you, and you know how our audience is on here. All the women want that. Oh, I knew he wasn't perfect. I knew he wasn't.
I got you.
They're projecting that bitterness from their past relationships, so they want the dirt on them. And then now you go to have a cup of coffee with a young lady in DC, and you go out on a little something because it's 6 months. Y'all might have agreement already. You enjoy it,
right?
Now you out. Now it's getting reported and stuff like that, and it's a big problem. So you need to let it be known.
Wow.
Hey, we're taking a break. We might pick it up when she gets back and stuff like that.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
And you can do that. You know what I mean? That's your fault. You didn't ask for that person to not be around for 6 months. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, but you thinking that you're gonna be perfect for 6 months and play this out scenario ain't gonna work. So
I don't know. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Clifton has that kind of job maybe that he can travel to. You know what I'm saying? He can work remote. I don't know, but
in reality of the situation, it's still a long distance relationship. They don't work. Not for anybody. You know what I mean? Especially that you understand you just got off a TV show with this person. You really don't know this person 100% yet, period. So even in situations where you have been on other trips with, you know what I mean? You know a person a lot better. Long distance relationships somehow don't work that much. And especially
no, you're right.
If you think in those long distance situations that the person just sitting at home twiddling their fingers all day, it's not how it works. So if he's gonna be out and about, which he probably is,
I'm sure.
You need to let it be known that, you know what I mean, until this is not a long distance situation anymore, that I might be out dating if he is, or I might be seen somewhere, this and that.
That's a great point.
They're gonna be on his back.
Yeah, they are. And the blog is gonna be on his back too, watching. So
and he's a big boy. He's not hard to miss.
No, he's definitely not hard to miss.
You know what I mean? You're gonna know Clifton when you see him. So.
Yeah, you definitely gonna know Clifton.
I love the brother. I think he's a good dude.
I do too.
I think he has a lot of talent. And like I said, Joy's fun. But now that they're making this relationship to be the Cinderella story, and there's not reality. None of these are Cinderella stories. It's your job to put the reality back into the situation, so you're not getting burnt on it on the back end. If you because what's gonna happen is they gonna like I said, the audience gonna be like, these are some bitter people that have had bad past relationships and some trauma that watch this show, and they're gonna be like, I knew he wasn't a good dude. Oh, poor Joy. And she gonna have no She's gonna have to play the victim.
Yeah. She sure is. Whether she the one do something wrong or not, whether she's a victim.
You definitely have to play. Ready to love bad guy who couldn't get together after, you know what I mean? And it ain't always the guys on this.
That's true. That is so true. You're right. No, we women have to take responsibility because we out here doing too, making moves. So yeah, you're right. Well, let me ask you something. I'm gonna Ron, what have you been doing since the show? Like what, I mean, you know, are you dating? Are you in a relationship? Are you looking for someone? What's going on with you?
I'm definitely looking for a relationship. It's in my top things. Like I said, I was working, I got promoted.
Congratulations.
So I was going to start a relationship podcast. I had bought all the equipment and stuff like that, but I was like, I just took this big job. I was like, I don't bite my tongue that much on camera, so I don't want to be over here representing this huge company in this level of position and then be on here talking.
Well, that's true. Cash. Because I wanted to ask you that is something. How was it for your I'm sorry, I cut you off, but your working relationship, people were seeing how you were being on Ready to Love, right? So did your people?
Well, here's the thing when it comes to worker relationships. Most of the drama or anything that goes on in this is relationship based. And nobody's gonna blame you for anything that happens relationship based because we all go through relationships. Okay. You know what I mean? We all deal with somebody that didn't work. We all do that. That's true. That's why when you get in situations like with the Eric and the Kaya thing, where it's a situation, you get in a situation with Phil and with Sheila, where it's a grabbing situation, or even with Deontay and where it was a slap hitting situation. That's different. We don't all do that.
No, you don't. You
We all get in an argument with a female here and there. That's just relationship stuff. Like that's people don't take that as anything they're gonna hold against you. That's why those situations had to be handled differently from a production standpoint, from the way they handled it.
Right.
Anything else, they're like, it's just relationship stuff. Like, so you're a bad dater. Who cares? Like, I'm not gonna do business with you because you're a bad dater.
That's true.
And that even for like even somebody like, which I thought like Troy, I'm good friends with Troy on the show, and I didn't like the way they depicted Troy on the show, and I was like, this guy has businesses, with cars and stuff like that. What does he wanted to? I think I got into it with Lil Black Book on it because he was like, just grinding in on Troy or stuff like that, and trying to make him out to like R. Kelly or somebody.
Wow.
Like I know this guy, you know what I mean? And he was like, if you had a daughter, would you be comfortable with her riding with Troy to this and that? And I was like, he'd probably be the first person on the show I pick.
I love you, Ron.
He would actually give her a couple of dollars when he dropped her off to make sure she got some lunch. But I'm like, don't come at him like that because we're in a Me Too movement. This person might have to hire women sometime. Right. And he's actually a good with women, a good guy. He's in a relationship right now. So, but even then, because what he did on the show was relationship based, it didn't stick. It ain't gonna stick to him, or it's not gonna hurt you long term. Like I said, it's more of physical stuff. You know what I mean? You touch somebody, did this, did that. That has to be handled. In my situation, from a business standpoint, it didn't affect me at all.
Okay, great. So you say you are dating. Do you have any preferences? Is anything that I can share with the ladies out here? What type of lady you're looking for? Or
what are you looking for? I mean, I think men and women looking kind of more similar what they're looking for than what media and everything kind of portrays and stuff. We all want somebody that's consistent, that gets effort, that they kind of has direction and know what they want. I mean, this whole thing that the men are ready and the women are, that's BS. You know what I mean? Like some women ain't ready. It's
not everybody.
Challenges going on right now. We are in a gender war. We are in a lot of different things going on, and nobody has a solution. Like I said, we got 30 YouTube channels and talk shows on this stuff daily, and nobody, you watch them all, and you leave gets as clueless as you did when you started.
Well, it's the truth, because after 2020, dating has changed. I'm just saying. So now we're trying to figure out how to date now. I mean, 2020, we're locked up for a whole entire year.
I don't think
I don't know. I think
we weren't dating well before then. Let's keep it. I mean, the numbers say it, like I said.
Well, the numbers, yeah. But I'm just saying, you don't think communication is really off? Like trying to really talk to people nowadays, it closed off.
Well, I'm in Texas. We never had COVID. It never existed.
I forgot. You're right.
Yeah, we never.
I
don't know what the COVID.
Okay, I forgot.
COVID was closed down when? Like,
okay, I'm up in New York, New Jersey. You know, we were closed down.
Yeah. And even then, I love that period of time because work was more lax. I got a chance to really like hone into, my body, my spirituality, and things of that nature. And it was just a more calming situation. I think I came out of it a better person, but I think
you can't say meeting people hadn't changed because it used. I mean, a lot of people don't go out and mingle with people like they used to in the
It is, but if you really want to meet somebody and you're a female, you can meet. Come on now, you can get on dating apps. You can get on certain
dating apps. Okay, yeah, you're right. You do have outlets. I agree.
You got to be genuine with what you want and really wanting to put in that effort. You have to do what I had to do. Okay. You have to put relationships as the top of where you're going. I had to make a decision. I say, man, I'm doing this work here. I got these other opportunities, business opportunities that come in where I literally could be working 15-hour days. Oh, wow. But that bag would be amazing.
Nice. Wow.
But here I am at young 40s. I'm in shape. Now, I don't know where I'm gonna be in shape later. I gotta look now. I don't know if it's going. I don't know how my age later. I got the tolerance to go through rejection and things of that nature, mentally and stuff. I don't know if that's gonna be there in my older age. I'm gonna be petty, and I ain't dealing with any of that. I got the right mindset right now. If I'm gonna find a wife, it needs to be now. I can't wait 3 years from now and grind up for some more money, and then look up and say, "Man, I had a window." And didn't cash in on that window to find somebody at my best.
Yeah, but I do agree. You're right. Yeah.
So I have to take money off. I have to loosen my bag. That could be, if I could put my head down and just grind right now, which a lot of people are doing. I had to say, I had to take less of a bag and put relationships as one of the top 1 or 2 things on my priority list. Now, how many people are doing that? It's the other question, but if you're a woman, you are, I think good things are happening. I know you get labeled as a pick me or and stuff like that. It kind of is what it is, you know what I mean? And you do need to kind of be a pick me and put your relationships as first priority.
That's true. You're right.
You have to see the value of it because I would tell a lady right now, like, I could change your life in a week.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We're together, we partnered up and stuff like that. That next promotion might take you 3 or 4 years. It might be worth 30 grand.
All right.
You could partner with me. We could be together in a month and you just made triple, you know what I mean? Quadruple.
Right. No, that's true. But what do you like in a female? What do you look for in a lady? You know what I'm saying? Like
first thing is femininity. She has to be feminine. And we're in a very masculine age of women. It is ridiculous. It is so hard. I reward femininity. If she has it, and she can be naturally girly and a girl and understand.
I agree.
I can't do everything the men do. I ain't like the boys. I don't want to be like the boys. I know where my power is as a woman. This is where I want to be. I like nice dresses and cute heels and my voice should be lighter than yours. I should be, everything. I like, within my femininity and giving that vibe because it's the yin to my yang.
Right.
As a masculine man, I need that.
Okay.
It's not a negotiable. I need it. So
I agree.
Yeah, that's the balance of my life. So that's first. And then the second is her clear path of wanting to be in a relationship and wanting a man, because a lot of women, and even on our show, a lot of women were like, if it happens, it's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? As a woman,
you definitely say that. If it happens, that's fine.
Women don't understand from a standpoint of a man how big of a role you play. You are the quarterback of the football team. You are the pitcher of the baseball team. You know what I mean? You are the you running the show. You're the point guard of the basketball team.
You are. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're expecting guys to play these roles of this in a relationship, and that's not their role. We're men. We simple. We give me the remote control. We watch the game. Yeah. We're not programmed to be the quarterback of a relationship. Now, we can do, the household and things of that nature of leadership, but we can't lead a relationship. We can't. Our communication skills are not on that level as men to do that, and we.
But okay, I understand what you're saying. But as far as you're alpha man. So with an alpha male, and just say if you had an alpha female running the show, how does that work with you? You understand? Like you're saying, she's the quarterback, she's running the show, but you're alpha male.
Well, a woman, her femininity runs the show. You don't know that she's the quarterback. You know, she's behind the scenes.
Okay.
She knows she knows you for one, like the back of her hand. Okay. So she knows your butt. She knows what you.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, you know your man.
She knows that household. She knows the routines, and from there, she can put you in situations and everybody's situations that you can win, because that's what a point guard does. A point guard, the forward's over there, the center's there, and I'm running the play. Right. But the point guard don't get the credit for the play. He's throwing the.
No, they don't.
Jordan's getting the
right. That's what I was gonna say. Okay, so you're gonna. Okay, I got you. So
she has to be. Yeah, she has to know how to run the thing. If it's a communication deficit, a problem, he ain't gonna bring it up. He don't know. Like she has to say, "Hey, we're having a communication problem with this. Let's talk about this, or let's get this under control." You know what I mean? And then she's expecting him to bring it up. He's a man. You gotta learn. You gotta take us for what we are. We can't be nothing different. Like, and I think a lot of these women are having this fantasy of this, like you said, this leader who does everything, and you just kind of follow along. Like, no, it ain't.
Right,
ladies, it's hard work. You gonna be working in your relationship, and we're in a very instant gratification, lazy environment these days.
Instant gratification. We want it now.
Yeah. Nobody wants to put in that work.
Nobody.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It is taxing. If you're not stressed about your relationship, you ain't in one.
Okay, Ron, that's a good way to say it. But baby, you're in a good relationship where everything is, you all like this, you know what I'm saying?
Or he cheated, somebody cheated. but the fact that if you're in a real relationship, because in a real relationship, you guys got to become one. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
So his problems become your problems. Your problems become his problems.
Exactly.
And y'all have to make that dedication to kind of roll like that. And it's hard. It's very hard.
Okay, so then, Ron, what are you? I don't know. Did you finish with what you're looking for? Because I think the ladies out here want to know what all Ron's looking for.
Yeah, femininity, a woman that's willing to put her relationship first, and can, like I said, play that point guard position, as a woman. And like I said, I want somebody fun still. You know what I mean? I'm still an active, fun person. Right. I mean, when I'm out and about, I like to bring my woman there.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's a lot of, we as men, we still got old school tendencies. We want to reward our girl and say, man, she's been solid for me for a long time and stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to take her on a trip. You know what I mean? Or maybe I need to don't say I want everything right now. We're in a society now where it's just like, I've never seen anything like this. Like where week 3, you know what I mean? You got to take somebody to Aruba, you know what I mean? People do, because the social media is showing this, or I got to take you to a high-end steakhouse and strip a week. I mean, and these used to be anniversary places. These used to be days. This used to be, you've been rocking with me for 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. Let me take you on a trip. And now it's like all this stuff. I had women going on there. Like, are you serious? Like, what do you mean? What we going on?
And that was what I was going to ask you. How has dating been since now for you dating? And now I guess I see.
Well, now after the show, I had to dial back some stuff and be careful, because once I got my regular life back, I'm active. I'm outside. I was doing that. And I've had some women that come to me and said, even though I don't really talk about the show or somebody asks, like I said, I'm not on TikTok and everything promoting it every day. But women say, "Oh, but you were on that show," and it doesn't click to me. I don't get it. Like, why would you care? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still me. You know what I mean? Because I know who I am, and I'm like, and they're thinking that because you were on the show, and because sometimes I stop, and I did it last night. I was at the Music Soul Child concert. I'm at a section chilling with the people, and a young lady came in and said, "Oh, you're on a show." So yeah, she's like, "Do you mind if I take a picture?" I said, "No problem." So I'm holding there, and she took about 30 pictures. I'm holding
you're a celebrity, Ron. Come on now, you're a celebrity.
I'm holding the girl for a while. I don't think of it like that, but I'm holding her for a while. I'm like, okay, and then I'm going back to my friends and stuff like that. Right. As Ron, normal and stuff, and it's not dawning on me that if it was a woman that was interested in me, she might have been like, I got to deal. I mean, I want my man holding a woman, taking pictures and doing all this. Right. You know what I mean? Because I don't think of it that way. I'm thinking of it as this is the show. Like, you know what I mean?
Now, what about women? Do you have a problem with a woman approaching you? I'm just saying, you know.
I like that. I think every man likes a woman giving signals. To me, that shows that she is looking for a man. It shows her femininity, is saying at least dropping a pretty good hint. Okay. But I think a lot of my problem has been just the seriousness of some of these women. Like, it's just it's all like, so like you're competing against her dog, the kids, her career, her friends, her leisure. Like, a lot of them say, "Oh, I want a relationship," but how bad do you really want one? How real do you know what I mean? Do you want it to really get? Because a lot of these women are living their best life. They're living some fabulous lives out here.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
they're dating and they're using men when they need to use a man, and they get a man when they need to get a man, and they trade that in for sitting on the couch with me, watching the comedy show, and we ordering takeout. It's a whole different lifestyle.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you got to be realistic. It is going to be a little boring sometimes, and there's going to be that. And the fact that we are getting these relationships so later in life instead of doing it when you're in your 20s and stuff, where you can really build, and it does make more sense because, at least in my business and field, married guys are more successful. When they start younger, they're in that club, that married club, and they can build with that. And the woman, you know, raise kids young and things of that nature, but we're not doing that. We're meeting up in our 40s and 30s. That's why this show is so popular and why it exists. True. So what does that look like? Right. From a standpoint, we don't really have examples of that. Right. My parents were married at 22.
Right. But Ron, with you dating now, do you have a problem? And I'm going to definitely end this after this. Do you have any problems with you meeting women who do have kids, who may have been divorced before? I mean, like, is that a problem for you, for someone to come into a relationship with children? Because you're in your 40s. Now, a lot of times, unless you're dating really young, you may meet women with kids.
I meet women with kids all the time. I like kids. I guess the only thing with me and kids is just let me know the role, because I'm a man's man. I respect fathers. I just do. Okay. So I'm not coming in to step on a father's toes or anything.
Right. I got you. Okay.
So if you say, hey, this person's father ain't never been there from day one, doesn't exist, we can't find him nowhere, you got to take on more of a father role, I can do that. Hey, this father is in each other's life. He don't really want you. Then I know how to approach it there. But it's her job to kind of orchestrate that, because she knows the lifestyle. She knows all parties involved and things of that nature and how to work it. But to think I'm just going to guess is the problem. And then my biggest problem at first with women with kids and this stuff is the time, because this woman now has kids. She's working like hard, just as hard as I am, most times. And I think when you're a guy like me who don't have any kids in the house and you're successful, having money, you get spoiled because you want to be with your girl all the time. Yeah. And when you can't have that at first, because you guys are still trying to, get through, no one getting to know each other, and that fear factor, you haven't really got a routine together. It gets frustrating. It really does.
I understand.
And I'm working on trying to, a lot of those times, even been times I wish the girl would just be like, hey, skip all this. Well, I don't have time. You have to literally come over here on these days, this, and that. We got to move in with each other if you want some quality time. I mean, you're a priority. I'm going to give you quality time. But this is the real. But you're not getting that. And you see more communication and stuff like that, because if a woman's too busy and too much going on, it's probably the number one turnoff for a man.
Okay.
And women don't understand that, because they're just doing what they got to do. It's not their fault.
Right.
But men got egos. We like attention.
Be stroked.
We like attention. We like it. We want to be around our women. We want. And more than that, we get in relationships for the consistency part of it. We want it to be boring. We want it to be predictable. Okay. We want it to know what days we're gonna see you. We don't want it to be a crapshoot of maybe I see it Friday, maybe I see it Saturday. No, that we might as well be single, because that's what single life is. Okay. It's a crapshoot. Maybe I get a date next weekend. Maybe I don't know what's going on. You get a relationship for that. You know what's going on. You know exactly how your day and week is planned. You know what days you got to see her. You know the routine. And if we get relationships, as men, we get lazy. We want a routine. Right. Got it. I understand. That makes sense. If we didn't have a routine, then you might as well be single, because that's a chaotic. Right. You know what I mean? So, and it's hard to get a routine with somebody who already has a routine. Right. That's true. You're right. You got to fit in. You got to see where you fit in at. I agree. I completely agree. I have no problem with women. To answer your question, I have no problem with women with kids. I have no problem with divorce. I have no problem with women that has been through some things. Now, it was a situation where I was talking to a woman who had some health conditions. Okay. And love her to death. Got her back always, stuff like that. But as men, you got to be realistic and say, hey, you only get one choice. True. Whoever is in this group for you. And some stuff, if you got to be a little selfish to say, man, if I don't want to go through it, I'm not a bad person for not. Exactly. I completely agree. There's other people I might be able to pick. You know what I mean? And I only get one pick. I shouldn't just do it because I don't want to do something just because it's the right thing. I don't want to make it harder on myself just because of the spirit and the heart that I have. The thing, I could be a friend. I could be this and that. For a relationship standpoint, I might. Right. No, I completely agree. And I guarantee you, this is a story. This is a conversation we probably could have over and over again, because I have a certain feeling about young people, really young ladies dating older men. And I'm like, do you all really understand, as this man age, as you all go through the years, he's getting older. It may come to the point that the man may have some physical requirements as he gets a little older. You're going to have to be attentive to that. And sometimes I don't know if these younger, and I don't want, this is a whole nother conversation. I just don't. And I just had this conversation on the Ready Love group, and they went at me for it. But I was being really realistic, because my mom is older and dating now. She's 65. She looks 52.
I believe you, because we definitely age well. So no, I believe you.
She can't date. She has to date younger. Mama don't want to date younger. She has to date younger. Right. The 65-year-old men are having, you know what I mean? Some been through prostate cancer. Some been through this. Some been through that. Things ain't working 100% right. As black men, our life expectancy is only 69.
Right. But you know why? Because black men don't go to the doctor early. Some of them do now. I mean, you have a crew of men that do. But come on, the older generation, some of them didn't go to the doctor and do what they call wellness checks. They only went when something was not right. You understand? They felt some way, as far as they started having issues. Then they go to the doctor. That's not happening now. But again, you have a 65-year-old man and you 45 and you still in the prime of your life, and he's, wants you to be at home.
Women have a longer life expectancy. They're gonna be healthier. So even a 65-year-old man and a 65-year-old woman ain't the same thing.
No, they're not. They're absolutely not. So that's another, like I said, that's a conversation for another day. But I feel you when, you know.
With that said, for the younger women that are dating older guys, I get that is, but it's still what I'm seeing a lot too. You got women that are making more money than we've ever black women make more money.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But they're spending it too.
Yes.
And it's gonna have to be a point when some people partner up or get with somebody with some life insurance, something going down to where you can be able to retire.
Okay.
Y'all, the women, my degree was in finance.
Okay.
So I've dated some women that I'm like, man, she's very successful. She got it together and stuff like that. Right. And then when you check them books of where she's supposed to be,
bank accounts,
retirement, and retire at a certain age, and where she's at now,
it's not there.
Like, you're behind, baby.
I
think
agree.
You're not, because all your girlfriends are saying you so fabulous and you got this job and you got the Mercedes and you got this. But when it comes to retirement and how much money you got saved up, a Walmart checker as a thing.
No, you're right. It
ain't there, girl.
It's not there.
It really ain't there. No. So don't be looking down at that police officer with that pension, because you might need that pension.
Okay, when you get a certain age, you're right. You start looking at people who have pensions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do.
So them younger girls get with them old guys that might have a.
If they got a pension, that's okay.
Yeah, a pension. They might have some life insurance they can put in your name. They might have something, because women are, like I said, you got a much longer time to be on this earth. You don't want to be on there broke or have to drastically change your lifestyle. Imagine if you was a attorney or a accountant and stuff like that doing well, you can't find no work past 55, because we do have ageist society in corporate America, things of that nature. But you've been used to living in a very nice house by yourself. You've been used to driving a certain car, and you didn't prioritize having kids, so you don't got nobody there.
Right.
Now, what are you going to do if you didn't save it the way you were supposed to save it? Because that money go quicker than it comes.
What? Once you start taking it out, you're right. If you're not replenishing, it does.
Yeah, you're not replenishing, especially if you got no more coming in, because
you ain't no, I agree.
So I think that's the number one problem with the black community. We need to partner up. We need to get in these relationships, because we need two incomes.
We do.
We need all that.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, Ron, Ron, I'm gonna go because it's been so wonderful talking to you. I'm just loving. I can probably talk to you all day. So I see why all your phone conversations go 3.5 hours. I could talk to you all night long. But what I want to do is talk about. I just want, if you have anything you want to share with, like, what are you doing right now, or if you have anything upcoming, that you want to let everybody know about.
Like I said, I just took this new job, so I've been hustling, bustling with that. I am going to start the podcast, which is going to be called The Locker Room. It will be about the real men talk of relationships, and unfiltered as I can get it. And I am probably going to get a female host with it.
I was going to say, make sure you get some female.
Yeah, make sure. I got to tone it down, because I can't be the bad news by the time with my new career. But it'll be,
that'll be great.
Yeah, it's some blogger that wanted to partner up, and then I'm gonna take them up in that offer, because I bought all this equipment. So it's just sitting there. So, but the goal is the goal I've always had, and that's just more black relationships. It's bad out here, man. Yeah, I'm on it on a street level. I'm in these streets. I see it. I'm in the most popping black town now in the country right now. It's Houston.
You're right. It sure is.
So I'm getting a view from all angles. I'm getting it from the professional side. I'm getting it from the ratchet side. I'm getting all the views. I'm very attentive to male and female relationships and what's going on, and it's bad. Wow. And I got it. I got to do whatever part I can to try to fix it for myself too. Like I said, I got to lead by example, and I take accountability. And I've looked at myself and said, what am I projecting, image wise, to bring that type of energy, to bring a white
exactly.
And I'm making adjustments on that myself. But But yeah, that's what it is. We're gonna try to get more couples, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
Okay, good. No, that's great. And then maybe you can, I like that. I'll definitely be listening to your podcast.
Yeah, because a lot of people
always learn. Like I said, we as Black women or Black people, we can always learn, and I love learning.
I'm seeing there's a lot of people in La La Land, and what's the problem with that is it feels good, but time is now your worst enemy, and now you're looking up, and now you got to do something. You're forced to do something because you ran out of time in certain situations.
Right.
What fairy tale was you telling yourself through this whole time? Like you gotta, we got to make some adjustments on standards. We got to do a lot of different.
We got to put in some work. In other words,
we got to put in some work.
And it's on both genders. It's not.
Both sides. I think we talk about the negative stimulation of relationships a lot, but we never talk about the rewards.
That's interesting.
And I think women need to know how valuable that man actually is. Men need to know how valuable that relationship with a woman is. It's literally the most. I was taught this at a young age. That's why I keep it as such a priority. Really, literally the most valuable thing you could possess over career, everything like that. It changes a lot having the right woman by your side.
Yes.
Right, man. There's nothing that could change your life faster and better. So we got to see the value of it. And I think if we really saw the value of it, people would be, oh man, I need that. You know what I mean?
That's what we call power couples. You know what I'm saying? You find somebody and you all become a power couple. And you're right. You don't hear power singles. You hear power couples.
You hear power couples. And I think they think a power couple has to be a high attorney doctor and a high. No, it could be the gas station clerk and I mean,
as long as they're compatible and they're growing, and you know what I'm saying. What difference does it make what your occupation is?
It doesn't. Yeah, like I said, I think the social media version made it. Well, you know what I'm saying? No, power couple is a successful relationship.
Exactly. Point blank, period. Okay. Period. So I don't know what everybody else thinks. Well, Ron, I thank you so much. I know that you're going to be on Kamisha's review for the reunion.
I will.
So you're going to be on the panel with Ron, Jay, and Kira. So I want to make sure everybody out there who's watching, please make sure you go to watch Kamisha's review with Ron for the reunion. And Ron, I would like to thank you for being here with me. It's been awesome.
I enjoyed my time. You're very easy to talk to. You did a great job. Shout out to my castmates. I love you all for the most part. Like we got one.
Yes, we love you all too.
And watch and like I said, watch the reunion. I think this cast did a wonderful job, man. Good shout out to Potomac. They did a great job. Yeah. And keep watching the show. I watched the show. I love it. So it's a good show. It really is. And I think for couples, it's something y'all can watch together. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have stuff they can do together, but this is something that both sides, the men gonna represent, the women gonna represent. Y'all can have communication through the show, and it's a great show to watch. So.
All right, then. Well, Ron, thank you so much. And I'd like to thank everybody who's out there who joined us today. And hopefully you all are having a wonderful day, the rest of your day. And we're going to end it. Thank you, Ron.
See ya.
Bye-bye.